Ήταν λάθος το τέτοιο. Λοιπόν, good morning, καλημέρα. To be honest, I feel a little bit anxious, as I said before, because I have to start first the presentations. I feel like undergoing a baptism by fire because, but I will try my best. Okay, I don't like to speak in a lot of people. This summer, I attended in Karla Institute the course Culture as the Core in the Second Language Classroom. To be honest, I didn't like the title. And even though I'm shy and I don't want to speak in front of a lot of people, I said I don't like the title. I don't agree with the word second because my students speak English, speak Spanish, Portuguese, and they learn Greek as the fourth language. They agreed, so we decided that it's not an accurate word for multilingual students. So they decided to change the title, changing the word second with the word foreign. I didn't like it either. So, because, you know, it has a negative connotation, foreign language. So we agreed to choose the word language. So the topic changing culture as the core in the word language classroom because it's more accurate and more positive. The main objective of the course was to learn and discover methods of how we can integrate culture into the teaching process. This is what they mean cultural immersion. In these immersion programs, we can use translanguaging. That means in the process, we can use multiple languages, but the deliverables should be in the target language. That means Greek. The duration of the seminar was 3 weeks, but it was 4 weeks. The first week was pre-work. We have to fill out a KW chart. K is what we know. What W is what we want to know. And at the end of the course, we completed the L chart, the part of this, what we learned. The 3 weeks were on Canvas platform from July 15th up to August 2nd. There were 12 assignments and there were 2 projects. 3 projects, I'm sorry. 2 projects was unit plans, culture-based, and 1 growth roadmap. I started implementing the growth roadmap in my class or on my whiteboard. I start, you know, this growth roadmap, what they start learning in August and what the students will learn up to May. There were 3-hour meetings. It was impressive that the second one was it was only with colleagues. It wasn't the instructor, the facilitator, but only the colleagues. And one was the coordinator of the meeting. The meetings were for teachers from the same grade level. So we, the middle school teachers, we have a meeting, the high school teachers, the college teachers, and the elementary teachers. And also there was one 50-minute one-on-one meeting with the instructor, Dr. Kai Shankong, for the project presentation. So I told you that I didn't like the title, but what about the title says culture? What is culture? You know, I was confused. Culture, you know, I have culture in my mind with C uppercase C. Culture is what represents literature, music, cinema. You see here the Parthenon, but culture is not only culture with upper C. It's the lowercase c too. Culture is the ephemeral. For example, is the driving style, is the waiting at the bus stop. You can see here in the picture, when I came in this country, I saw in Miami here how the people are waiting in line in the bus stops. You know, as Greek, you know, we arrive, there's a second picture where I arrived last in the bus stop and went the bus first. Also, you know, it was impressive for me, the traffic lights. The middle picture, you are familiarized with this, is the green guy that gives us permission to cross the street. When I came in the US, I saw a white man giving me the permission. When I was in Colombia, I saw a green lady giving me the permission to pass the street. Also, you can see here the sign of the, on your left, the sign of school zone. the Greek one, the triangle with this, for me, from my point of view, sad siblings that they go to school. The girl is smaller than the boy. The boy, maybe they are siblings, probably. He has this protective arm around over the girl. But I saw, signs for school zones in Argentina and Uruguay that it's a happy guy here. You see his body, he's dancing, he's winking his back. So it's the different perception of the world. So because culture is a puzzle, it's complicated, they tried to make some metaphors. They said that culture is an iceberg, but it's dated because culture is not it's not an object. They said that culture is a mosaic, but this is not clear-cut because we can see the fluidity and the flexibility of who we are and who we can be. So in the course, they ask us to make our own metaphor. And I suggested that culture for me is an aquarium. Why? Because aquarium underscores the dynamic process, the individuality, the colorfulness, the flexibility, and the varying sizes of cultures around the world. So now, what is the relationship between culture and teacher? Again, culture is a puzzle for us. For us, the language teachers, although we always claim that we teach language and culture, we tend to focus, at least in the initial courses, on teaching the language, leaving culture on the sidelines. The cultural content is limited into decorative photos, optional readings, and projects that do not have sequence and do not build on each other. So I need to redefine my professional identity. I'm a Greek language teacher. So this chirp means in Greek that no, I'm not a Greek language teacher. No, I am a Greek teacher of meanings. And how I can do that? By focusing on the critical cultural awareness of the students who are citizens of the world, living in multilingual and multicultural societies, to students who need to learn to respect and accept diversity. So we can redesign the curriculum. No, we can't redesign the curriculum all over the world, but we can see the existing materials and we can modify the lesson plans through the lens of culture, and we can add 1 or 2 activities per grading period. We have to forget the idea of native speaker. This idea is an illusion. And I know this by myself because I'm here 8 years, and when I talk to an unknown person, he answers me in Spanish. So they know. How we can do that? This can be achieved by blending the students' culture, and this is the most important. We start from the students' culture, and we can blend it with the target language culture, that means Greek, using familiar concepts to introduce and explore unfamiliar ones. An example how we can complicate culture with language scaffolding is this one. That you can start from the local, for example, from the Florida Keys, and move to the global, for example, Lefkada, that they have some similarities. After this, they can create, the students, a narrative reality. How we can do that? We can we have to allow them to tell personal or not personal stories over the stories they read or the pictures they see. And then they can create a platform outside of the classroom. This is very important, outside of the classroom, where students can express themselves about what they have read or seen. So we have to cultivate the cultural intelligence. We know IQ, EQ, now there is CQ too, the skill to relate and work effectively in culturally diverse situations. In the course, we went through major cultural theories. I will go through this very fast. The knowledge of these theories enhance the teaching process by deepening our understanding of the diverse students' learning experiences. I like the third one. I will go very fast. through the first one, it's developmental model of intercultural sensitivity. The last one, I don't know if you can see it. It's here. The goal is the last stage. The last step is integration of difference. And talking for myself, I think that here I did it because I stopped complaining for paying to pump up my tires in a gas station here. The second theory is anxiety, uncertainty management. This is very important for our beginners and for ESOL students. The third one that I like, it's the process model of intercultural competence. I want to do this in the class. I did it in the course. Here you use the OCE tool, observe, state, explore, and evaluate. Here's an example. They watch something. Here they watch a clip of an old Greek film. They watch something. They write something, stating objectively what it's happening. Then they explore possible explanations, and then they choose the last step, the fourth. They choose which explanation is the most likely one. To your right, you can see my expectations step by step. So at the last step, I'm expecting them to talk about their own culture. For example, here you can see some love letters, a relationship between the mother-in-law and the son-in-law, if these are dated or not, something like this. Now, the activities that we can do, we're focusing on learning, not learning about, but learning how they can take what they have learned inside the classroom beyond its walls. But we have to talk now about our expectations before we start the activities. I teach novice level Alpha N, and I'm expecting words and phrases. There are some degrees of proficiency control, and we can work on this in one period. The first three steps are, and we can add the fourth step, that is the cultural step. You will see here an example that we did in the classroom with students that are not strong enough. You can see here, they have the conceptual control. They can formulate questions, but not in accuracy. You can see that you understand Greek. You can see the translation, what they say. So you see here, the mistakes that they did, but they start communicating. This is the conceptual control. By practicing, we can go to the partial control, that the language is functional, but not in accuracy. So they start having this partial control. This is the full control that they can use in accuracy and with ease. And the last step is the real life situations. This is the small cultural integration. Now, some activities could be video student self-presentation. Students present themselves in a very short video, stating their names and the country of their family's origin. They can present an object or idea that represents their cultural identity. For example, students from Greece, they might talk about gyros or philosophy, or students from Colombia might talk about coffee or the yellow soccer jersey. Or they can make cultural hashtags. Here, the students present themselves and their culture through 3 hashtags. The other students choose one of the hashtags they see and ask for details or clarification. You can see here an example of cultural hashtags. Another activity could be the cultural bubble chart. You can see here the example from the seminar's instructor, Dr. Kashankov. And one that I like is the questionnaire of cultural entity. Here, students answer a questionnaire with 10 questions concerning the past, present, future using different grammatical tenses. You can see here, for example, the first question, they have to use present tense. In the sixth, they can use past tense. In the seventh, they can use a future tense. Now, another activity that we can do is through the lens of 3Ps. 3Ps is product, practices, and perspectives, what, how, and why. So through the Olympic Games, they can, through the flag, they can learn colors and shapes. Through the awards, the materials. Through the mascots, they can talk about and learn about cards. Through related paintings, they can describe people. Through the how, that means that every 4 years the Olympic Games are in a different country. They can learn and talk about country, city, seasons, sports, and based on the why, they can learn words like friendship, unity, harmony, respect, peace, excellence, competition. Another activity could be the shopping in USA and in Greece. This is an intercultural approach. They describe orally or in writing images from farmers markets, flea markets, malls, Cuban tiendas, shopping centers, local markets, starting from the familiar to reach the unfamiliar, to make the familiar unfamiliar and the unfamiliar familiar through comparison, and to accept and respect diversity. Here they can use a T-chart where they compare the images they see to their own experiences. And the last one is it's called UBD, it's Understanding by Design Template. You can do a project, you know, that teachers for the first level, you know that we teach free time activities and household chores. But we can do this through the lens of gender studies, integrating this in a broader curriculum for family relations, friendship, school education, traditions. You know, the stages are three here. It's the big idea, the essential question, for example, what makes something girly or boys, and the students can reflect on their own activities and consider how gender norms have shaped their preferences and behaviors. The second step is how we assess deep understanding. There are a lot of evidence, but I prefer the presentation of a project, the performance task, the presentation of a project based on the Greek song Boys and Girls by Phibos Delivorias about the girly and boys' likes and dislikes in real audience. That means seventh graders of one section can present their project to other sections. And the last one, the last stage, is the learning plan. You can see here learning activities, pre-activities, during activities, post-activities, formative assessment, and summative assessment that check, you know, the language skills, all the language skills, reading, writing, listening, speaking. And now it's I want to tell you that I'm the worst singer ever. I don't have an idea about music, but the students know they can drive us to an excellent result. I do prefer using songs in the teaching process, most because you know they can memorize things, and also they are fully engaged. Here you can see we tried with this is 7B. This is 7B. They start learning the Fildisenio Karavaki. Fildisenio Karavaki means the boat made of ivory that connects the Greek identity with the idea of wandering and freedom. Of course, it's not professional, but they found their own instruments, you can see here, and they enjoy it. And another one, this is a gifted class. Everybody knows Karagios. Karagios is traditional shadow theater that represents the struggle of Greek people under the Turkish occupation. Here, I was impressed because they imitate with their bodies the movements of Karagiosis, and they have fun. Thank you. Σας ευχαριστώ.
It is customary that we ask for questions, but I think we should leave this for the end. So let's go for the second presenter, Ms. Dasteridou.
Okay, how do we do here? Just no, wait, escape. Cooking into PDF. Μέσα στο τέλος όμως τώρα. The review. Και προχωράμε. Hello everybody. My PowerPoint presentation is entitled Τρώγοντας, έρχεται η όρεξη, meaning while you eat, appetite comes, and cooking Greek and TikTok. It is built upon the seminar that a three-day seminar that I attended, and the title was EmojiED, Integrating Authentic Social Media in Language Teaching, and the instructor was Professor Amanda Dalola. It is built also upon my experience, 16 years of experience teaching Greek, and some bibliography that the professor provided for us. So I will present you a project that we did in my Greek class, and we integrated TikTok. So before I start, I would like to say a few things about TikTok, why we need to use, why is it good for us to use TikTok in class? Because of its immersive nature, the students have access to authentic material, but they also can use it and create authentic material themselves. So it also supports multimodal learning. This means that most of their senses can be engaged. It promotes awareness of culture, as we note, and of invisible culture, meaning humor, nonverbal communication. I think Mr. Stergiou gave nice examples of what we mean when we say culture. And it assists in developing speaking and listening skills. The TikTok videos are short. You can adjust the playback speed. So when when the students are like in low level of learning, beginners, A1, A2, they can hear again and again and adjust the speed according to their needs. Also, they practice pronunciation and intonation. Students can mimic native speakers. Of course, promotes interactivity. TikTok has special functions like the duet and the react. This is, they can take a video of somebody else and they can create, they can incorporate that video in their own one, and they can be co-creators. And of course, they can, TikTok promotes interactivity through comments and challenges. They can take part in some challenges. Our project, in fact, it was a kind of challenge. They wanted to have the best, let's say, video, the best recipe. Certain negative aspects that I have noticed while I was searching for TikTok videos to show them. I couldn't find many Greek TikTokers speaking English. I couldn't find many Greek TikTokers speak Greek. I found many Greek TikTokers speaking English. I assume that they want to reach a broader audience. Some of them were Greek Americans, but let's say the Greeks who come from Greece, I do not understand why they used English. Anyway, in the comments, I noticed spelling mistakes, use of English language or Greeklish. So this is a negative aspect of this. Now, when my students created videos, I noticed that there were some privacy issues. There was a group that they didn't want to upload on TikTok because they didn't want to show their faces, which is okay. We have to respect this. And perhaps we could have a school site where we can upload these videos, the students' videos, so that they will feel safe. We have CISO, of course. In the past, we had the Greek corner, if I remember well, and it was part of the site of the school. So perhaps we can have something similar and they can upload their videos there, their work. Students may be reluctant to show certain sides of them. Another group of my students said that they didn't want to upload on TikTok because they didn't want to show, let's say, their serious side. They want to appear funny, they want to appear, crazy, all these things, but not serious. And a third thing that I noticed was immaturity. You never know what they may create. So when you use TikTok, it's good to see what they upload. One group of my students made a completely inappropriate video, and they were persuaded that I would laugh and I would have fun to watch this. So they have shown me their video and they were expecting me to be happy with that and laugh. But I told them that this video was inappropriate, and we had a huge discussion about the consequences in their personal life. And I asked them if they would feel like, okay, if their parents watch the video or their girlfriend. It was boys, of course. Anyway, so yes, we have to be aware of these things. Now, implementation, how I use TikTok in class. So my students, let me present them first. There are 30 senior students, equal number of boys and girls. These are the academically weak students. They don't like Greek, period. They're not fans of Greek language. But as I say in my title, Τρώγοντας έρχεται η όρεξη, meaning like you start working with something and perhaps you might like it in the end. So of them, less than 5 students have an A1 level certificate and 1 has an A2 level certificate. So they're beginners mainly. 6 students have accommodation and 1 is an ESOL student. I think it's a big number. If you ask me, perhaps more of them should have accommodations in this group. And they're sports lovers. Now, I use these characteristics to work with them. They're hyper, they have a strong sense of collaboration, and they are competitive. So these are good. We need them. So they had to, we used 2.5 weeks to create this project. It was about cooking. So the objectives of the project are the followings. The students can memorize or review the vocabulary about food, ingredients, kitchen utensils, cooking verbs. They can convert pounds to kilos and Fahrenheit to Celsius degrees. They can answer questions in Greek pertaining to TikTok videos on cooking. They can collaborate in groups and write a recipe in Greek. They can prepare a meal, film the process, and edit their video. They can upload their video both on TikTok and on Sykopoulos, and they can use hashtags to share their video. So what I used, materials and technology, a PowerPoint presentations on food and cooking vocabulary. I uploaded them on Archie, the resources. We use the TikTok videos, of course, Google Docs to write the recipes, Sykopoulos to upload their work, and the kitchen, of course, to cook. Yeah. So step 1, vocabulary learning. That was the part that they don't like, but they had to go through this. So as soon as they learned or remembered the vocabulary about cooking, we proceeded to the next step. That was watching TikTok videos so that they had an example how to create their own videos. So the adjustable playback speeds helped the students to reinforce the vocabulary that they learned. As I said, again, it was the vocabulary about food, utensils, cooking vocabulary. Here I have one example of the videos that they have watched, and it was not a very good recipe, to tell you the truth. I don't know if you can see the comments there. Biach. So it's tuna with pesto and tomatoes. And there are 2 comments that they were interesting on the teacher's perspective. And one of the questions that I asked them was like, okay, you read this biach comment, what do you think that it means? And how do Greeks discuss with this word? How do you discuss in your own language? Remember, we were talking about invisible culture. So this is part of this. And humor also. Both Jem and Eduardo Evi play with the word pesto. You know what pesto is. And but what does pesto mean in Greek? And this Eduardo says, πετάς κάτι πράσινο μετά τον τόνο και μου λες pesto. Τι να πω? Okay, you throw something green and you say pesto. What do you want me to say? And the extension activities, what would you suggest to improve this recipe? And of course, write your own recipe and create your own video. Step 3, the students in groups started working on their recipes, and they were making drafts. I think they needed 3 to 4 drafts to write the recipes, and they used Google Docs and they sent it to me. I corrected them. Of course, some of them believed that they could use a translator. When they saw the Fs coming, they changed their mind. So back again, start working again with this. They upload it on Sykopoulos. And step 4, that was the assignment was to create a video and with them preparing a food or a dessert, to film it on a video. And the 2 requirements were to not to read from a paper the recipe, and to see, for me, and they should film themselves in a way that I could see their face, because they could have like the paper here, or I don't know. So they had to upload the video on Sykopoulos and on TikTok. And here are their videos. Don't freak out. We're not going to watch all these videos. We could see 2 of them, I think. Which one do you want? Which one? Το πρώτο, λοιπόν. I would like one girls and 1 boys. But anyway, let's see. Let me. Come on. Stop. I need to fix the. And go back. You see the subtitles also here. I don't think that it's very obvious. She tries to remember. And I think, what did I do? Something stupid? No. Let me go back. Let's see. Oh, this one's. Το βλέπετε? Εγώ όμως δεν μπορώ να το δω. Yes.
Which one was it? This one?
The fourth one. See this one. Now. Yeah, what was that? Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Δεν είναι ξέρω.
Γεια σου, είμαι Πέτς. Γεια σου, είμαι Άιζε. Γεια σου, είμαι Eirini. Γεια σου, είμαι James. Να πιάσουμε την πίτσα. Έχουμε ένα γράμμα. Αλέγει, κόκκινη σάλτσα, τυρί, πεπρόνι και λιμόνι. 5 κούπα ζελέπι.
Ναι, καλέ.
Ένα περιττό της σουπάς νερό. 2 κουτάλες ελαιολάδου. 2 αυγά και λίγο αλάτι. Και τέλος ζαχάρι. Τώρα έχουμε κατηγορήσει μια στιγμή.
Πολύ πεπερώνει. Έφτιαξαν 2 πίτσες. Αυτό ήταν. Let me escape. So I don't need this one. How many do you want? I mean, I'm done if you want to watch more. Okay. Okay.
Our next speaker is Dr. Christoforidou. Είναι έτοιμη.
Εδώ είναι η παρουσίαση. Ναι.
Να το μεγαλώσουμε.
Ναι. Πατήστε το πράσινο. Το πράσινο θα το πιάσει όλο. Το πράσινο.
Ναι, νομίζω ότι το παίζουμε μόνο σε παράθυρο.
Α.
We play it in a
Full screen or?
keynote. We play in full screen. Είναι εντάξει.
Ναι. Ποιος δεν καταλαβαίνει ελληνικά εδώ? Ποιος δεν καταλαβαίνει ελληνικά? Εμένα τα αγγλικά μου δεν είναι καθόλου καλά. Ήταν εδώ ο κύριος Μαρτίνες και η κυρία Μοράλες, επειδή και ο δόκτωρ Καφούλης μιλάει άντε στα γαλλικά, θα έκανα με simultané στα γαλλικά. Γιατί τα αγγλικά μου δεν μου επιτρέπουν να μιλήσω. Θέλετε να τα λέω και γαλλικά για να υπάρχει μια άλλη γλώσσα? Τα αγγλικά μου δεν είναι για να μιλήσω σοβαρά.
Δηλαδή, πρίστιπα, τα βόρτα που δεν είναι ο Έλληνες, άνθρωποι οι οποίοι θα μπορούσαν να κοιτάξουν και οι οποίοι θα αγαπούν την Ελλάδα, δηλαδή την ελληνικότερα, δεν είναι ελληνικά, αυτή είναι μεγάλη επιτυχία που είναι τα Αμερικάνια. Γι' αυτό είναι πολύ σημαντικό να κάνουμε αυτό το κόμμα.
Εντάξει, λοιπόν. Εγώ θεωρώ ότι διάλεξα πολύ λάθος σεμινάριο να παρακολουθήσω, γιατί πραγματικά απευθυνόταν σε ένα πληθυσμό πραγματικά πολύ μικρής ηλικίας. Δηλαδή, θα έλεγα ούτε καν νηπιαγωγείο, ούτε καν, ας πούμε, 5 χρόνων, ούτε καν μεγάλα νήπια που λέμε στην Ελλάδα, έτσι. Απευθυνόταν σε πάρα πολύ μικρά παιδιά. Είναι ένας πληθυσμός που με ενδιαφέρει μόνο μέσα από το επάγγελμά μου ως παιδοψυχολόγος, όχι όμως διδακτικά, έτσι. Άρα δεν μπορώ να σας πω ότι το χάρηκα. Προσπάθησα τέλος πάντων να σεβαστώ το πλαίσιο, να σεβαστώ τους ανθρώπους, τους αγαπητούς συναδέλφους όλους εδώ. Τα ελληνικά όμως εγώ έτσι κι αλλιώς δεν μπορώ να σας πω ότι μου είναι... Νόμιζα ότι ήμουν εγώ. Μου είναι πολύ εύκολο να φτιάξω διδακτικά πράγματα για τόσο μικρές ηλικίες. Γι' αυτό λοιπόν δεν το πολύ σκέφτηκα. Έφτιαξα κάτι στα γαλλικά, γιατί είμαι καθηγήτρια γαλλικών. Στη Γαλλία έχω σπουδάσει έτσι κι αλλιώς. Και για να διασκεδάσω λίγο τον εαυτό μου, μας είχαν παρουσιάσει 4 διδακτικές μεθόδους, που είναι για πάρα πολύ μικρά παιδιά. Παντομίμες, βλέπω και μιλάω. Τέλος πάντων, εγώ προσπάθησα να το κάνω όπως εγώ θεωρώ ότι θα μπορούσα να το... πραγματικά να το αισθανθώ και να το αγαπήσω αυτό που θα έκανα. Πήρα λοιπόν ένα γαλλικό τραγούδι, γιατί είμαι expert στα γαλλικά τραγούδια, και μέσα από αυτό το γαλλικό τραγούδι έφτιαξα διδακτικούς στόχους, θεματικές, δηλαδή θεματικά γνωσιακά περιεχόμενα, και συγκεκριμένους διδακτικούς στόχους. Λοιπόν, το τραγούδι αυτά είναι κάποια υπέροχα γαλλικά τραγούδια με εξαιρετικό vocabulaire λεξιλόγιο, με εξαιρετικό λεξιλόγιο, που είναι πραγματικά τρομερά εργαλεία. Το τραγούδι μιλάει για μια καμήλα και μέσα από το ταξίδι της καμήλας στο δρόμο του μεταξιού αναφέρεται σε πάρα πολλά πολιτισμικά στοιχεία, μιλάει για φαγητά, μιλάει για καρικεύματα, μιλάει για τα ζώα, μιλάει για τα μέσα μεταφοράς, μιλάει για τα πάντα. Λοιπόν, μου ήρθε στο μυαλό αυτό που είναι και ένα από τα αγαπημένα μου το γαλλικό τραγούδι, «Perdu dans le désert immense, l'info du nez de douan, 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 dirait pas loin, 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 loin». Λοιπόν, και πάρα πολύ ωραίο τραγουδάκι. Και έφτιαξα λοιπόν διδακτικούς στόχους 2, που είναι η πρόσκτηση λεξιλογίου καθημερινής χρήσης. Και ο δεύτερος διδακτικός στόχος ήταν τα παιδιά να εξοικειωθούν με τον πληθυντικό των ονομάτων και των επιθέτων. Έτσι. Δηλαδή, απευθύνεται περίπου σε ηλικία, όχι σε ηλικίας, απευθύνεται περίπου σε τάξεις 3η, 4η δημοτικού. Χρειάζεται βέβαια και ένα υπόβαθρο πολιτισμικό να έχουν τα παιδιά, αλλά τέλος πάντων και να μην έχουν, θα τους το δημιουργήσουμε. Το γαλλικό αυτό που έφτιαξα πρόγραμμα είναι για οποιονδήποτε δεν μιλάει τη γαλλική γλώσσα και που κάνει πραγματική immersion, δηλαδή που μιλάει μία γλώσσα τη μητρική του, δεν ξέρει κάποια άλλη, και ξεκινάει κάποιος να του διδάξει αποκλειστικά μιλώντας την ξένη γλώσσα, την εν λόγω ξένη γλώσσα. Τα θέματα ήταν οι μαμάδες και τα μωρά τους στα ζώα, γιατί στα γαλλικά τα μωράκια έχουν άλλες ονομασίες, έτσι, από τα ζώα σε ενήλικη ζωή, οπότε είναι κάτι πολύ ενδιαφέρον να το μάθουν τα παιδιά. Τα μέσα μεταφοράς, γιατί μιλάμε για την Καμίλα, θα το δείτε λίγο παρακάτω, το ανθρώπινο σώμα και τα φαγητά, κύρια φαγητά και κάποια κύρια καρικεύματα. Λοιπόν, εδώ είναι το τραγούδι, είναι ένα παλιό τραγούδι, η Quatre Barbus είναι ένα υπέροχο συγκρότημα της εποχής εκείνης που έχει φτιάξει πραγματικά υπέροχα τραγούδια. Το γράφω εκεί, τώρα εδώ είναι όλο το τραγούδι. Η πρώτη, τέλος πάντων, ας την πω μέθοδος που μας, διδακτική μέθοδος που παρουσίασαν οι κυρίες εκεί πέρα ήταν βλέπω και καταλαβαίνω. Πολύ απλό για μένα, το θεώρησα πάρα πολύ απλό έτσι κι αλλιώς, αλλά εντάξει, ήταν πολύ απλό και να το φτιάξω. Κοίταξέ με σου μιλάω, με το μάτι που σημαίνει κοίταξέ με την ώρα που σου μιλάω και βέβαια εκεί γράφει je parle français, μιλάω γαλλικά. Το άλλο ήταν άκουμε την ώρα που μιλάω, στην ίδια μέθοδο, αυτά την πρώτη μέθοδο, je parle français και δείχνει ότι ακούσέ με. Τώρα, το δεύτερο ήταν, η δεύτερη διδακτική μέθοδος ήταν η παντομήμα. Τώρα, τι θέλανε αυτές οι κυρίες να κάνουμε? Θέλανε να βρούμε ένα τραγούδι, όχι ένα άλλο τραγούδι, γιατί δεν μας είχαν πει να δουλέψουμε τραγούδια. Θέλανε να βρούμε ένα τραγούδι γνωστό στα παιδιά, δηλαδή που να υπάρχει και στη δική τους γλώσσα, και μέσα σε αυτό να φτιάξουμε δικό μας, πώς το λένε, λιμπρέτο, δικά μας λόγια, και μέσα από αυτό το τραγούδι το γνωστό να καταφέρουν να κρατήσουν το καινούριο λεξιλόγιο. Λοιπόν, εγώ έβγαλα το στα γαλλικά, αλλά το ξέρετε όλοι. Είναι τα petit navire, πως ήταν ένα μικρό καράβι. Και πάνω σε αυτό έφτιαξα το διδακτικό μου στόχο, που είναι να διδάξω τις λέξεις που αφορούν τα μικρά, τα μωρά των ζώων. Οπότε έχω τη μαμά Γκαμίλα και το μπεμπέ της, το παιδάκι της, και στο τραγούδι λέει «Et voici la maman chamelle, et voici la maman chamelle, avec son bébé, bébé petit chameau, avec son bébé, bébé petit chameau». Μετά έχω τη jument που είναι η φοράδα, με το poulain που είναι το μωράκι της φοράδας, μετά είναι η κότα που είναι το μωράκι της, το πουσά, το κοτοπουλάκι, μετά είναι το λιοντάρι που στα γαλλικά είναι lionceau, είναι lion η μαμά και lionceau το μωράκι, διαφορετικά δηλαδή, και η μαμά Sanglier, που είναι εντελώς διαφορετικό το μωράκι της, είναι Sanglier το αγριογούρνο, που το μωράκι είναι Marcassin. Λοιπόν, έφτιαξα αυτό το τραγουδάκι για την παντομήμα, να μάθουν το θεματικό πεδίο που με ενδιέφερε οι μαμάδες και τα μωρά τους στο ζωικό κόσμο, τέλος πάντων. Λοιπόν, μετά ήταν το τραγούδι. Τώρα εδώ πραγματικά πρόκειται για ένα τραγούδι. Τραγουδάμε λοιπόν το τραγούδι και μέσα τώρα από το τραγούδι εγώ φτιάχνω τα θεματικά πεδία που με ενδιαφέρουν, που είναι τα μέσα μεταφοράς, τα φαγητά και κάποια καρικεύματα και το ανθρώπινο σώμα επίσης. Λοιπόν, τραγουδάμε το τραγούδι χωρίς να δώσουμε εξηγήσεις, τίποτα, απλώς το τραγουδάμε, και μόνο με οπτικό βοήθημα βοηθάμε τα παιδιά να καταλάβουν το λεξιλόγιο, έτσι. Οπότε κάνουμε μία association, λέξη και εικόνα, απλά πράγματα. Και βέβαια τα παιδάκια, εφόσον απευθύνομαι ας πούμε σε αγγλόφωνο πληθυσμό εγώ τώρα, ζητάς από τα παιδάκια να σου πούνε στα αγγλικά, έτσι, τη λέξη που βλέπουν. Και μετά να μάθουν και 2 στροφές απ' έξω στη συνέχεια. Οπότε, εδώ, το επόμενο βήμα ήταν αυτό που ονόμαζα να φτιάξουμε μία γέφυρα. Το translanguage, τέλος πάντων. Εγώ αυτό το έκανα με τα μέσα μεταφοράς. Δεν έχω βάλει τις εικόνες εδώ πέρα. Στη μέση μπαίνει μία εικόνα. Αριστερά, λοιπόν, είναι η λέξη στα γαλλικά. Δεξιά η λέξη στα αγγλικά. Και στη μέση η εικόνα. Αυτό εννοούν λέγοντας γέφυρα. Έτσι. Λοιπόν, ότι στη μέση είναι μια εικόνα, αριστερά είναι μια γλώσσα, δεξιά η άλλη γλώσσα. Και τέλος πάντων εδώ πέρα έχω την καμήλα, το άλογο, το τρένο, το αεροπλάνο, το αυτοκίνητο. Τα βλέπετε γιατί είναι στα αγγλικά. Το ίδιο, με την ίδια μεθοδολογία της γέφυρας, έφτιαξα κάποια. Επειδή μιλάει για ρύζι, επειδή η Γκαμίλα μετέφερε το ρύζι και μετέφερε επίσης το κακάο Το ίντιγκο που είναι το χρώμα, αυτό ό,τι μεταφερόταν από την Κίνα, τέλος πάντων, και τις Ινδίες προς την Ευρώπη, γιατί αυτό έκανε η γκαμίλα ουσιαστικά. Λοιπόν, το ρύζι, τα μακαρόνια, το αλάτι, το πιπέρι, το κακάο. Και τώρα, επειδή λέει ότι αυτή η γκαμίλα με τον ώμο της και τα πόδια της και τα λοιπά όλα αυτά, το χρησιμοποιεί και το μάτι της που βλέπει, λέει και αυτά, το χρησιμοποίησα αυτό και για το ανθρώπινο σώμα, μέσα από το τραγούδι, για να δώσω τέλος πάντων, να κάνω πάλι αυτό το διαγλωσσικό, με μία εικόνα στη μέση και την ασοσιασιό ανάμεσα στο αγγλικό και στο γαλλικό. Η πλάτη, τα μάτια, είναι διαφορετικό στα γαλλικά και έχει αξία που το αναφέρουμε, γιατί είναι τα μάτια, το μάτι διαφορετικά γράφεται, η μύτη, τα χέρια, ένα χέρι, τα δάκτυλα, ένα δάκτυλο, πληθυντικός, ενικός και με αυτόν τον τρόπο κάνουμε και αυτό. Λοιπόν, αυτό είναι η πιο απλή παρουσίαση που έχω κάνει ποτέ στη ζωή μου. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ για την προσοχή.
Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ. Έχει θέσει να κάνει μια παρουσίαση σχέση με το περιβάλλον.
Ναι.
Μάθημα περιβάλλον.
According to, I will show you a lesson that I will do in high school for the environment. According to Carla's seminar, there are 3 pillars in dual language immersion: bilingualism and biliteracy, high academic achievement, and sociocultural competence. One of the 3 pillars is sociocultural competence. That's why I thought of focusing the teaching of my Greek language on current issues that can concern students and have effect on their daily lives. One such issue is the natural environment, its importance for humans, its destruction, and the need to protect it. My goal is to teach high-level vocabulary only using the target language with these methods. The course will be based on methods such as etymology, analogies, bridging, learning vocabulary based on background knowledge, reading, and turn and talk. In particular, I will first explain to the students the meaning of the word environment with the help of etymology. Περιβάλλον comes from peri και βάλο, that means I put and around, and is everything that surrounds man. I will give pictures as examples of the meaning of physical environment, and students will have to describe these pictures with the words they know in order to understand better what means physical environment. After, I will teach a more difficult meaning, biodiversity. Again, I will use etymology and an example of the sea. Biodiversity is the variety of living organisms in an environment. Here, I will try to explain the meaning of living organisms, and for this, I will use the method of analogies. I use the sea, and I will give analogies for animals, for plants, for microorganisms, with fishes, corals, and planktons, and with pictures. After, I will use the method of bridging in order to explain the Greek word ecosystema, that means ecosystem. The English word has Greek roots and the same sound, so students have to do the connection of this word in their mind in order to understand what means ecosystema. After, we will read some things about that. Ecosystem is a system in which living species and their environment interact as a functional unit. In an ecosystem, each organism affects the other and is affected by them. Biodiversity plays a vital role in the ecosystem services that people depend on. And I will use pictures to explain the meaning of some services of the ecosystem that I write, such as pollination, climate regulation, flood protection, and soil fertility. Then I will show some amazing, for me, phenomena of nature, like pollination, that is the process through which fertilization takes place in plants. The process is done with the help of the air and insects like bees. I explain with pictures the difficult words. Again, after we will do about migratory birds. Every autumn, millions of birds successfully travel from Europe to the warm regions of Africa. For their orientation, they don't have maps or compass. They may use points such as sun, moon, and stars. In spring, they return to Europe, where they mate, build their nest, and raise their young. Again, the difficult words with pictures. After, we will talk about the turtle Careta Careta. A turtle's first journey is from the coast, when it takes out from the egg to the sea. The turtle orients with the help of instinct. If it succeeds in finding the way, it will return after many years to the same coast to give birth. I will use again the method of breeding in order to explain the word instincto, that means instinct, and it has the same root with instincto and the same sound. After, I will use pictures to students, and I will ask them, how is the environment today? Students will answer with very simple vocabulary. They will try to describe their pictures. We will use this background knowledge in order to understand the new words. We will talk about air pollution. Factories and cars emit pollutants in the atmosphere. Almost all cities are drowned in smoke. The greenhouse effect. This phenomenon is due to the increase of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Forests which absorb some of the carbon dioxide are being destroyed. Thus, this absorption is reduced. Many experts argue that because of the greenhouse effect, in about 50 years, life on Earth will be almost impossible. Again, the same. I explain difficult words with pictures. Water pollution, garbage that pollute the water and harm organisms. Deforestation, that is the destruction of forests, that the lands are used for other uses. And after, I will talk about the extinction of biological species. Each year, many species are designated as endangered as their ecosystem continue to be destroyed and polluted. Population of some species are declining because of pesticides. Again, the same. And after, we will do turn and talk. This is what we say speaking. Students have to talk to each other, and they have to discuss about the solution that they can propose for the environment, what their country can do, and why and what they can do. In addition, examples will be given from other countries of the world, such as Sweden and Greece. Students will learn the vocabulary of the above words with the help of pictures and sentences based on the words they already know. First of all, we will talk about renewable energy sources. And the main sources of energy as wind energy, solar, bioenergy, and wave energy. Students will learn these words that are related to science and technology. Waste management. Waste is not longer treated as garbage, but as a valuable resource. I will give the example of Sweden, that less than 1% of the waste produced in Sweden ends up in landfills. Residents recycle their waste, so students have to have to say that we will discard whatever we can. We will use products that come from recycle. We will talk about ecological means of transport, bicycles, that they don't pollute the atmosphere and that they are quiet. What countries can do, bike lanes, cities have to be designed for bicycles and pedestrians, as these are pictures from Europe and from Greece. Green areas and parks. Save the electricity, turn off electrical appliances when we don't use them. Save water, don't pour oil, chemicals in the sink because they pollute the seas and the oceans. Keep the cars in good condition, from the engine to tires. If the car is in good condition, it will burn less fuel and pollute the atmosphere less. Again, recycling of batteries. Finally, students will be asked what is the positive outcome of a good relation between humans and environment. This outcome can be reducing of stress, increasing physical activity, improve the immune system, improve the ability to concentrate, and help memory. And after, again with analogies, students will have to say what is for them ecology. Okay, some sentences are that ecology is man's obligation to nature, way of life, and respect for the environment and future generations. This is my try. Thank you.
Thank you, Stavropoulou. I don't think because we are behind the schedule, I think we should pose any questions for the break and then at the very end the presentation. Because of that, otherwise the question or two is that. Thank you so much. Lafazanoglou and Mr. Zentelis coming up, co-presenting about visual strategies for a more effective immersion classroom.
Right. That's it. Bye. Okay, so one of the strategies that we were taught in the program that we participated in over the summer was we picked the program that went over dual immersion, and one of the strategies was the use of visual references, which we both do in it's similar and different ways at the same time. Maria teaches Greek math in 5th grade. I teach Greek language in 6th grade. And there's many different ways to use visual references. Maria will mostly focus on showing us how she uses visual references in her classroom physically. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how I have the kids produce visual references for themselves and for the rest of the classroom. So,
hello everyone. I prepared 3 examples. The first one, I want to go there. It's for the place value. I have this in my classroom on the board, so they can see this digit, mnemονάδες, δεκάδες, εκατοντάδες, χιλιάδες. So they have to read the word because I think in Greek math they have to write the word. So they say this. Okay. So I have this picture on the board and they can see that the digit 9 είναι μονάδες, 2 είναι δεκάδες, 4 είναι εκατοντάδες, 1 είναι χιλιάδες. And I have an example and I want to write the word because I said in Greek math it's also important to write the word. Okay. That's okay. Ωραία. So they say number 3. It's in the place, είναι στη θέση των χιλιάδων. And write χιλιάδες. And that's going on. Μετά. Next, I think it's important to read an expression. For example, when they say έχουν 73, the first symbol is και. So they have to read 73 και 128, the next symbol, how we said it, μείον. 45, δια, 5 και the next symbol, επί 108, ίσον. So the first example is to write the word. The second example is how they can read it. If they see the symbol and the name, I think it's better for them to read the expression. The next one is a problem that is a combination of many mathematical terms. And we have some numbers there, and we have to find the number that has all of this. The first step, 4 ψηφία. It's the digit. We already said what is digit, so we count the digit. 4, 4. Two numbers is not what we want. 973, 79, 876. The next step, το ψηφίο των χιλιάδων. Οι χιλιάδες, I want to come here, οι χιλιάδες είναι αυτό το ψηφίο. Θέλω να είναι μεγαλύτερο από 6. Μεγαλύτερο από 6. Το 7 είναι μεγαλύτερο από 6. Το 8 είναι μεγαλύτερο από 6. Το 3 δεν είναι μεγαλύτερο από 6. Και συνεχίζω και βλέπω ότι οι αριθμοί που δεν θέλω, τους διαγράφω. I delete them. Το επόμενο, το ψηφίο των εκατοντάδων. Το ψηφίο των εκατοντάδων είναι αυτό το ψηφίο. Θέλω να είναι περιττός αριθμός. Περιττός 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Οι εκατοντάδες, οπότε κοιτάζω αυτό το ψηφίο. Το 9 είναι περιττός. Το 0 δεν είναι περιττός. Το 1 είναι περιττός. Οπότε, I have only these two numbers. The last step, θέλω το ψηφίο των δεκάδων να είναι μικρότερο από 2. Οι δεκάδες είναι αυτό το ψηφίο. Μικρότερο από 2. Το 6 δεν είναι μικρότερο από 2, το 1 είναι μικρότερο από 2. Οπότε, the number I was looking for is this. That's the 3 examples I prepared.
Okay, so I have similar visual references in my classroom to Maria's in the way that I have stems, phrases, words, and the beginnings of phrases that students can use to talk about themselves, because in 6th grade we mostly focus about presenting ourselves, talking about ourselves, sharing facts and things that we like. And so there's pictures all over the classroom with words and phrases. My name is, I am this many years old. I like to do whatever. So I chose not to show you that, but what the students produced based on that, because with Immersion, we use visual references to get the meaning of a word, but also we can use it to share facts about ourselves to the rest of the classroom and to whoever is listening. And so, And so these are just a few examples of various artistic results of the efforts of my students, where they basically produced pictures with labels using the stems that I'm presenting around my classroom in order to share facts about themselves. Many of them choose to focus on things that they do every day. Some of them are using pictures to talk about simple facts, how old they are, when their birthday is. And some others like to focus on things that they are very passionate about. For example, the student on the right, he created a big picture about himself playing guitar, because he asked me for several pieces of paper because he wanted to make sure that this one sticks out. And he wanted, when he presented to the classroom, he wanted to make sure that everybody understood how good he is at playing guitar and how passionate he's about it. So you want example? Is that okay? This one? Is that okay? Okay. Okay. Other students are talking about other passions of theirs. Have a student who likes ice skating. There's students who want to share what their parents do as a job, and of course, all of them, when they present, they are excited to show. It's about showing and not telling. And immersion that's the quintessence of immersion. If I have to explain something, if I have to give you a definition of a word or the English word, then that's not immersion. But showing you is it, and an image is a very immediate experience. You see the image and you immediately understand what I want to communicate. Yeah, so that's what we've been doing so far. Thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Mertalis follows up with presentation on the immersion and how students in the Greek managing the task.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to say that, okay, what is Greek math? So, where do I look at? Okay, there's the camera. So Greek math is a mathematics course done in the Greek language. The idea behind it lies in Archimedean school's mission statement. The mission of Archimedean schools is to initiate the young mind into the art of thinking through the teaching of mathematics and the Greek language. Following immersion methods, students get the opportunity to study mathematics in another language, a language they are not necessarily native to. Using patterns and examples, they grow accustomed to 2 topics in one course: mathematics and the Greek language. Teaching a topic, specifically mathematics, in a language the students are not native to, in this case Greek, is like getting inside a room without the lights turned on, using other senses to navigate through the room. Okay. Initially, it may seem like an overwhelming struggle for the students, an impossible task, one might add, but eventually it gets to be a way to have a deeper understanding of the topics involved. I would like to say that I was not teaching in a language in which the students are not fluent before a summer professional development seminar. Last year, all my classes were done in English. I know that this year, my classes are in Greek. I have already started doing the classes. I was excited with this challenge when it was announced that we are going to have a professional development course. I was excited because I got advice from colleagues, and I was of the opinion that I would gain from an introductory course on dual language immersion. The ideas expressed in the seminar, the building of the foundations of immersion, as well as the exercises involved, guided me into understanding the significance of what is being done. It also provided me with ideas applicable in a classroom. It helped me understand, for instance, that one does not need to be fluent in the Greek language to learn a topic. If the presentation of the ideas is lively, with colors, demonstrations, and a good use of the similarities between the languages. With examples, colors, demonstrations, patterns, a teacher creates a good presentation. Another example, a student wants to ask something in class, as simple as can I use the restroom? One can find a valid answer would be μπορείς να πας στο μπάνιο. And the choice of words is specific because it has some meaning behind it. Because, okay, the answer is you can use the restroom, but the majority of students already are familiar with the Greek word for restroom because baño in Spanish is pronounced the same, it means the same thing. If one wants to tell them to sit down, for instance, or sit properly, because sometimes situations like this will arise, one will tell them, κάτσε κάτω, or κάτσε καλά, κάτσε σωστά. One could also do what I do in situations like this is that I actively demonstrate the action of sitting down so that the students understand. So I get the chair and I sit down. And while I'm saying it. Another thing is while one is teaching a new concept or when one is trying to write a Greek sentence or when one tries to do an exercise in class and more. The Greek word for is είναι. And sometimes I write an equal sign on top of that. So that to make it understood if it is not already by some of the students. For exercises, I sometimes start jogging because exercise, the word for exercise has two meanings. Exercise as in working out and exercising as in doing exercises in class. So this double meaning is in Greek as well. So here, that's how, that's what I have in mind when I start jogging, so that they get this double meaning. For yesterday, the Greek word is thes, and I use the notion for back. Thes κάναμε test. For door, I use the word porta. Okay, that's the word we use in general. We don't use thera, for instance, which is the more appropriate. But the reason I'm using this word is because also the Spanish word for puerta is very similar. And so on. There are many examples. And I definitely have more to learn as an educator. It's my second year here. And it's my first year teaching in Greek. And there are definitely some ideas that I may have adopted without even understanding them. Or some ideas that I need to adopt anyway. Or other concepts that I need to comprehend. That said, I try my best, and the advice I have received from the seminar, colleagues, administration, and Dr. Kafkoulis is valuable, and assists me in reaching my potential sooner. I would like to also add that I am also sometimes in that dark room, but I'm trying to figure things out. So that's about it.
Schedule is from Angelaki, incorporating social media, language, social media content, helping content the language into the language.
Hi. It's the first presentation I'm doing in English, so please be lenient, okay? The training I got this summer lasted 3 days. It was July the 9th to 11. And the title was Emoji, Integrating Authentic Social Media in Language Teaching. I prefer this title. I mean, this was more close to my nature, close to me. The reason I chose this training was because social media are very important in my life, very important in my previous jobs, and I believe very much in this power. I felt that I will feel like home, but to be honest, I didn't change the way of thinking more, except the fact that I got triggered to use more other platforms of social media, except YouTube that I used to use a lot. So through the training, I realized that, except YouTube, perhaps I could use TikTok, I could use Instagram, and perhaps I will have some profit. Okay. Facts about social media. The 60% of the world's population uses social media. We can understand that more than the 50% of the world population uses this tool. The 95% of the American teens use at least one social media platform. And exactly for this reason, educators try to engage their students using technology. Benefits, because I decided to stay only about the benefits in this presentation, because of course there are dangers. If it's a tool that if we don't use it with wisdom, it has many risks, but in this presentation, I will stay focused on the benefits. So with social media, we can foster collaboration that allows the teachers and the students to bring ideas together. A valuable educational tool that is capable of enriching the learning experience. And in general, teachers, educators, can use social media to organize group projects, communicate with students outside the class, and share resources, and much more. The educators that are going to use the social media, they can also create class-specific accounts where they can post assignments, instructions, resources, updates, and more. In my case, I'm a little limited because I teach very young kids. I teach 3rd grade, so I cannot use all the previous options that social media give. What can I do? I can share educational videos, tutorials, and any other type of video content, and have the students role play. This is what I do.
And I'm bringing two examples in this presentation because it's about TikTok and Instagram, something that I wasn't using so often. And because I got triggered, I want to share with you. I have 120 kids. I do all the projects with all the kids because I can't choose the gifted, I can't choose the more familiar to the language because the kids are communicate even in the corridor. So they come and they say, Miss Angelaki, you had fun with the 3A, do that to us again, as well. So I do with all the kids. Here I have some data I found about the benefits of social media and learning. There are many, many articles that they say that through social media, kids can absorb information more easy. It's more easy for the kids to understand things through the activities and through the very brief information that social media give. So how I use the social media in my classroom. We watch videos. I try to find videos that, of course, are going to be proper. They're going to be understandable. And I try to be a little fun because it's in this age, it's very difficult to keep the attention of the kids there and keep have the kids alert and interested. So this is an example. We use TikTok. Okay, we use TikTok. We were in a momentum that we had to learn colors. So I found videos in TikTok where people were asking each other, ποιο χρώμα είναι αυτό, which is this color, and the other people, or they were drawing, or they were showing, and they were describing the color. To be honest, the kids freaked out in the beginning. They couldn't imagine that they will talk in Greek because, yes, they can write, they can try to read, but to talk and make dialogues were a little weird for them. So, a lot of practice with all the kids. A lot of practice because through practice, we build confidence. Because that's the point. This is my goal. My goal is to make the kids not too afraid the language, to think that, yes, I can speak English, I can speak Spanish, and I can speak Greek as well. So a lot of practice to build confidence. We had a problem yesterday with the link, so oh my God. I don't know why. Can you help me, please? Yes, I don't know how to make the link work. Now, is that there? I think this is just a picture. No. This is the link. Oh, the next one? The next and the next. This one? Yeah.
You open up the other one?
There is the internet. Okay. From yesterday, everything is so difficult. Yeah. I crashed, my computer crashed, we lost everything, and I gained something. Okay. Don't go, I have another one.
There we go.
So I'm gonna use another one as well.
Another one?
Later.
All
After
right.
the
Yeah,
break.
whenever you're ready.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. So this is one of the 120 videos I did about the ποιο είναι αυτό το χρώμα. So then we used Instagram. Okay. We were in a moment that we have to learn how to introduce ourselves, how to talk about us, and how to ask questions the other kids about themselves. So we watched a video about with two American girls that they talk to each other and they talk in Greek. And I chose this specific video because of the accent. I didn't choose Greeks talk to each other. I chose American girls that they are introducing themselves in Greek. So, a lot of practice again. A lot of practice, hours of practice. In the beginning, a lot of fear, very shy, and they were postponing. Okay. In the end, I think we did it. And for me, it's very important using social media because we learn through fun activities. We get bonded. We create bond, and we also create memories. And for me, it's the most important thing. Okay, perhaps I need you again. Excuse me. Yes. It took us hours because if you noticed, more than one sentence. It's a dialogue that needs time. Anyway, me and my kids, we thank you.
I think we're fully back in schedule. That was the last presentation before the break. Since we're back in schedule, if there are any questions that we want to discuss among ourselves for what we heard in the last hour and a half, maybe it's a good time to discuss them now. Then we have a break and we reconvene here at 12 noon. Any questions to the presenters, any comments, suggestions, reflections, something that we want to serve, someone wants to serve to the rest? We have to entertain. No? We're good. Everybody ready for the lunch break or wait break? All right. So we'll be back here, same place, 12 o'clock noon. So we start on time for the afternoon session. Thank you. Thank you all.
Andre, as you heard me, 12 o'clock again we start, so maybe 5 to 12 or whatever come in. Dr. Aful is coming back around 1, he said. Dr. Martinez will be here at 12 to just lead the ceremony of the assembly. I'll be in a different meeting. Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah. You want to do it now? This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Can I take it?
Oh, yeah.
He wants to be there.
Yeah,
Ah.
here we go.
Thank you.
Very well.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, and how do I change the?
Change with this.
Γεια σας, hello. My name is Athanasia Koutsofava. I teach 4th grade Greek language, and I've been teaching foreign languages for 25 years. So this summer, oops, I don't know why this doesn't show as it was supposed to. Anyway, so this summer, I attended the introduction to dual language immersion, where basically what was presented to us was 10 power strategies. They were supposed to be there. I don't know why they're not. I checked it before. Yeah, you cannot hear me. So again, I'm sorry. I have a little cold these days. So 10 power strategies. They were like turn and talk, the really basic, simple things we do with, I think everyone does this in their classroom, like how do I say μπορώ να πάω στο μπάνιο or μπορώ να πάρω ένα μολύβι. So they use everyday expressions in the class. It was total physical response where you have to model everything using your body language so that they understand what you're talking about. Bridging strategies, assessment strategies like dictadio, that's how they said, which is basically spelling, okay, or así se dice, how do you say that in the other language? They were using a lot of Spanish terminology. That was something that I found a little bit strange, but anyway. The thing is that I will not talk about all of those strategies. I will focus on the bridging charts and contrastive analysis. And in order to do that, we do the example of the cognates. As you all know, cognates are So Greek English cognates, okay, there are words that are written in Greek and they are spelled the same, they sound the same, they mean the same thing. And the reason we do that is because it helps students understand and transfer knowledge from one language to the other in a very easy way. I mean, they do it without even realizing it. So I'm going to show you here, this is an introduction that I use with the students in order to let them know that we will be working on cognates because it's a project that we work. And in the end, they create sort of something like this, like a booklet, like lexicon, where they have to, there is one page at least for every letter of the Greek alphabet. Sorry, here. Okay, at least one page for every letter of the Greek alphabet. And they write cognates, Greek English cognates that start with this letter of the alphabet. But in order to help them understand what we will be working on, I use this presentation in the beginning. So for alpha, we have alpha vita, and they realize that they already know the word. Oh, they say it's alphabet. Okay, and then Vita, biologia, for example, biology. And we also use, of course, the pictures there so that they understand from what they see what it is about. Gamma, geometria, geometry. Delta, drama. Epsilon, exotικό. Zeta, zoologia. Eta, ηχό. Theta, θέατρο. Iota, ιδέα. Kappa, κόσμος. Λάμδα, λεξικό. Μη, μουσική. Νη, νευρολογία. Ξι, ξυλόφωνο. Όμικρον, οικοσύστημα. Πι, παραλληλόγραμμο. Ρο, ρόμβος. Σίγμα, σκηνή. Ταφ, τριγωνομετρία. Ήψιλον, ύμνος. Φι, φιλοσοφία. Χ, χρονόμετρο. Ψ, ψυχολογία. Ωμέγα, ωκεανός. Και στο τέλος, αφού το κάνουμε αυτό σαν παρουσίαση, για να δούνε και sorry, I forgot and kept talking in Greek. So in the end, after they understand what this project is going to be about the cognates, we use some of the vocabulary they have already learned in there to turn them into sentences like, τι μαθαίνω στο σχολείο, what do I learn at school? And they can answer, at school I learn, στο σχολείο μαθαίνω, βιολογία, ψυχολογία, φιλοσοφία, τριγωνομετρία, μουσική, θέατρο. Okay, so they can use these words in sentences as well. So here I have some pictures, which is the one that I've just showed you, the Milao Elinika. They get really enthusiastic about it because they are working on this project, not just one day, because you need a lot of time to fill this in with many different words. That they also use in their everyday activities in school, in other subjects as well. For example, as you see here, I mean, I'll just go over there to show you just one, this. Autobiografia, autobiography. So what we do is that with the English language teachers, we work close together because in elementary, they teach the students Greek roots, prefixes, suffixes as well, Latin and Greek, okay? So for the Greek part, I can, with this project, I teach the student the prefixes that are Greek as well, and then it helps them understand what the words mean in English as well, because these are hard words for them. So for example, for autobiography, autobiografia, when I teach them the prefixes, auto comes from self, bio is bios, life, and graph comes from grapho. So it's self-explanatory then for them. So it means someone who writes about their own life because of the prefixes and what they mean in Greek. Another thing, so wait a minute, because I'm going to talk about the results here. So what happened with that is, with this project, there was significant vocabulary expansion. It facilitated the students to transfer knowledge from one language to the other. They didn't even realize that they had that knowledge. It develops metalinguistic awareness, and it helps them think in that way. and it promotes an environment of comprehension. So especially what I liked is that the students, they demonstrated heightened enthusiasm about the Greek language because all of a sudden they realized that, oh my God, we use so many words already and they're all Greek. And especially when we do this project, I keep talking to them also that, you know what, you will be, because I teach 4th grade, next year they will be doing philosophy, okay? It's full of Greek words and concepts there. And they do this in science as well. For example, I write on the board metamorphosis in Greek. It's a huge word. And they read it. After doing that, they become capable of reading such huge words immediately because they know the word from English. And so this is a transfer of knowledge that helps them both ways. Also with their spelling, maybe I go a little bit back because I want to show you an example with spelling, let's say. So let's go to philosophy, okay? So when the words stem from Greek, when they're Greek-rooted words and they have the F sound, in English, they always spell it with a PH because this is a Greek-rooted word and the F sound is spelled with PH. And this helps them understand why they should spell it with PH. Or another example is the word onomatopoeia, for example. It's very difficult for them to spell it in English, but when we write it down in Greek, they know why they write O and E because in Greek it's omicron iota E. So this has helped them a lot with knowledge transfer. And in the end, of course, everyone gets amazed when I give them a small paragraph. This is not a paragraph that I have written, okay? Actually, the writer it's Mike. We don't know the last name. And it comes from an article. So in the end, when they finish the project, they write this small paragraph, which says, the genesis of classical drama was not symptomatic. Okay, so the audience here is Greek, so you do know γέννηση, classical drama, symptomatiko. The protagonists paradoxically used pseudonyms. So we do know protagonistis, paradoxos, pseudonymous. Anonymity was a syndrome that characterized the theatrical atmosphere. We do know anonymο, syndromo, χαρακτηρίζω, theatrical atmosphere. It is historically and chronologically proven that theater emphasized pedagogy, idealism, and harmony. And we all know, of course, ιστορικό, χρονολογικό, θέατρο, έμφαση, παιδαγωγική, ιδεαλισμός, αρμονία. So in the end, they were super excited because they realized that all this vocabulary comes from Greek and they already use it in English. Now they can use it both ways. This is one of the projects that I use with one of the power strategies. Now, this is the second one. As Mr. Stergiou said, culture and language, they go together. So what I did, it was a little bit the other way around. So I used Aesop fables, which students are taught here at school, and they do it in their English curriculum. There are some Aesop fables in there. What they didn't know is they didn't realize that they come from Greece. So we did this other project here. It's called Μύθων Εσώπου, ηθικά διδάγματα και ελληνικές παροιμίες. This was like, they did a total of 5 Greek fables, Aesop fables. First, they watch a video in Greek. I don't know why I cannot see everything that I have written on my presentation, but I will just let you know. So first, they watch a video of a Greek fable. It lasts like 10 minutes, which is one of the fables they already know, like the lion and the hare, for example. Okay, or the tortoise and the hare. And because they already know what it is about, watching it in Greek helps them transfer knowledge and they do understand. Then we discuss about it. They learn the new vocabulary in Greek, of course. We talk about the moral of the Aesop fables. And then we talk about, I give them a Greek proverb that actually goes with what they have seen in the moral. And so here you can see, for example, this student, Laura Uribe, she did «Η Αλεπού και τα σταφύλια». Ηθικό δίδαγμα, πρέπει να παραδεχόμαστε τα λάθη μας και να μην είμαστε εγωιστές. Παροιμία, όσο δεν φτάνει η Αλεπού, τα κάνει κρεμαστάρια. And for that, they created this book, which is 1 page for every Greek fable. They had to bring a Greek picture, showing, I mean, it's written in Greek, and they wrote the name of the fable, the moral, and the proverb. And also, After that, they were in groups of 2 or sometimes 3, and they created a presentation on Aesop and the fables that they had worked on, which they had to record. They presented it in the classroom. They recorded it on Seesaw. I have some pictures here. I don't have the recordings. They are on Seesaw, but these are students who worked on Greek presentations on Aesop and Aesop fables. So I think this is it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Εκεί δεν τα Εκεί δεν τα είχαμε.
Do you want to take a photo of us? Come on. Thank you.
Αλλά στη φωτογραφία δεν είχαμε αγοράσει ακόμη τις μπλούζες. Έπρεπε να το είχαμε επισκεφτεί.
Το συστήσω κιόλας.
Okay, let's start.
Γιατί πάντα ξεχωρίζω.
So, can you take out this column? You see this thing? It's view.
I see. There you go.
Thank you. Okay, so this is our team, Nikoletta, Eirini, and me. In the end of July, yes, in the end of July, we traveled to University of Minnesota, to Minneapolis for this course, project-based language learning, as they call it, PBLL. No. You know, it is organized by the Carla Summer Institute. The title of the course was Getting Started with Project-Based Language Learning. Our teachers were Rachel Hernandez and Laureen Scheller. Yes, now talking about project, we all, as teachers, we all know about the project, but this is something different. The project that we do in our class usually is supplementary to our unit. It is based on following instructions from the teachers. Typically, we do it individually. The students do it individually. I'm not sure that I agree with this, but this is what they have. And we focus on the product. And maybe the product, we call it the project. And usually it's not authentic to the real world. This PBL that we went to see, it's the project is the unit, is the class. It is open-ended, so the students have a lot of room to take it to different directions. They work in teams, and so they work collaboratively at school under the guidance of the teacher, who gives them instructions and, of course, scaffolding. It has inquiry from the students, and in the end, they create a product. And the important thing is the PBL is authentic. I'm sorry for my authentic to the real world or to the students' lives. This is a definition for the project-based learning. Is a teaching method in which students learn by actively engaging in real-world and personally meaningful projects. Now, in order for someone to plan a PBL, a project like this, he must answer to these 4 questions, the 4 squares, as they were saying. They told us in the course. The first question is, the most important is the question, is what you want to do for this in this project. So the question
is very important for the project. The second square is about the real-world purpose. What is the authentic real-world purpose for your project? What will be the impact of this project, not only in the class, but outside the class too? The third triangle, the third square, which has the community partners who will help you in this project from the community. And the fourth square is about what is your proposed product? What are you expecting to get from this project? Of course, we are teachers, so we do care about our students. So the last question is, why are the students going to be involved with this project? Are they going to be involved? Are they going to engage in this project? The HQ PBLL is something like the PBLL. HQ means high quality PBLL. It has almost the same features: the authenticity, the public product, the collaboration, the project management. It's something almost the same by the like the PBL. So, in the beginning of the course, the teacher asked from us to think of a project that we want to plan. Yes.
We brought our work.
Yes, it is this.
Send it.
And we want to apply in our school. So every day we added in this poster the new things that we were learning. So I don't know if you understand that here we answer to the questions that I said before in the squares. So the question, the project that we designed, the question is, how can we, as learners of the Greek language, organize and implement a Greek festival in our school? This is the question. The purpose, the real world purpose, is to get in touch with the Greek culture, the students to get in touch with the Greek culture, learn it, and finally love it. And not only the students, but their parents, their families, and the community. The community partners, if you remember the third square, we decided that the administrators will help us, the school district, the church, of course, the town library, the Greek community, and the Greek restaurants, because you will see why. The audience, the product will be the Greek festival. We will try to make a Greek festival. The proposed public audience will be the students, their parents, and the community. And they asked from us to explain how we will manage the project. So we will create a plan. We will have a timeline plan. We will communicate with students, and we will get feedback from them. We will communicate with the persons that are going to help us. And in the end, for the assessment, we will create a rubric. And of course, the answer in the question why the students will be involved in this, we answer that it will be experiential, it will have fun, something different than the things that we do in the class. So we expect from them to be engaged in this. This is the poster that we created. We stuck it on the wall. All the teams stuck them, their poster on the wall, and everyone was passing and was reading this and gave us feedback. You see all this, how do we call them?
Post-it.
Yes, all these post-it are feedback from all the people that. Now, I think, is it now? No. Yes, now Miss Eirini Taratsa will tell you in more details about the project.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you and Dr. Kavkoulis and my amazing team, Mr. Mitsou and Miss Nikoletta.
So the title of our project, it will be the Greek heritage. Because all these years we are doing the Hispanic heritage at school lately. So we thought, why we don't do a Greek heritage? And we came up with this idea during the Carla seminar. So I will explain you now how we are going to work in kindergarten and apply it. Each section of kindergarten will take over a different region of Greece and will do 3 activities related each time with a specific area. First activity will be to invite a Greek dance teacher to teach the little students a Greek traditional dance, or I will be teaching them a song. The second activity will be to invite a Greek woman from the Greek community and explain a recipe of a dessert or a food. The kids will show what they learned through the seesaw, creating a video, explaining or showing the products that they will use, saying the Greek names. The third activity will be for the students to create a traditional artifact or a related craft to the area. I will give an example. So an example would be that the section that will take over the part of Greece called for Peloponnesos could learn the traditional Greek dance of Kalamatianos. They can learn from the lady that will visit us the Greek, how to make the Greek salad using products of Peloponnesos like olive oils, olives, and the vegetables. So we could also speak about ancient Olympia that is in Peloponnesos and the Olympic Games, and we will create a related craft about the Olympic Games. So imagine this to do it with other regions, Thessalia, Crete, Cyclades, Thraci, etc. Each time the kids will explore the area through the Greek map. They will learn a few characteristic things related to the area. Also, Mr. Mitsou, that he is in 8th grade for Greek math, will work with the islands of Dodekanissos because of the philosopher Pythagoras that was born in Samos. So they will connect the Greek math with the history of the island and Dodekanissos. All this, of course, they will be communicated in Greek language through immersion, showing pictures, videos, inviting the Greek people. The Greek heritage possible date will be on March 25, we think about it, because we celebrate the Greek Independence Day, and we will show our work in public in our students' parents and the other grades and teachers. The most important is that the students will get in touch with the culture, the language, and they will love Greek and Greece. Ms. Nikoletta?
Okay, welcome. I'm not going to take a lot of your time because as I see until now, all you present, and there are things that we already know and we're already doing. And actually, when we did this seminar, we were mostly familiar with all the things that they told us. Only we took some extra tips. I'm going to tell you my part that I saw because it's not important to be as a teacher, but to be and from the side of view of the student. So for me, what was a nice surprise, it was that every day before we start our activity and to do all the project and all the meetings and all the feedback, they have something fun for us, for to bond with each other and to explore, you know, the culture or each other, you know, beliefs. So I'm going to tell you 2 or 3 of the activities that we did in the morning. That is something that I'm going to keep and I'm going to do it in my class as an ideas, of course, because it depends the age of the kids that you are teaching. It can be more advanced or more simple. One of the activities was that they saw us on the projector like here, some
emojis with different feelings, and they asking how you feeling today, πώς νιώθεις σήμερα. So you raise your hand, you say, I pick this emoji, the smiling one. Χαμογελάει. Γιατί? Why? So with simple words, you can say, the babies that we are teaching, they can say, because today I'm not going to go to the park, for example. If there are in older age, they can say, because today I'm gonna miss the soccer game. Another activity was that we describe some things about ourselves, and we had like this poster all around the, let's say, class that we were. And every single day when we were finished, there were the people, classmates, let's say, that they were going around and they had a post-it, maybe with a question, maybe with a good comment, or maybe with a feedback that something we have done. It's something that I would like to do with more simple, ways. Another one, it was they create like a bingo, that it was very simple questions in the squares, and you have to go around to your classmate to ask the questions, and the one that is going to take the most yes in the row is the one that is going to take, for example, a prize. According to what we are doing here at school, also we had two activities. The one was that one of our teachers started to talk to us in Hawaiian language. Do we know? No. Did the other know? No. Did we understand what she said? Yes. Why we understand? Because it wasn't what she said, it was the way that she saw us. It was the body language. So what I had as a return from this is that it's very important the way that you are going to express yourself with the movements of your hands, of your body, and to make it this maybe a little bit more fun and more easy for the kids to understand. And the second one is they make us create, like most of you are doing in Greek, and I see it, a book to create a story in Portuguese. Do we know Portuguese? No. Did we did it? Yes. How we did it? Because they gave us the visual, the acoustic, and the vocabulary with the images. So by taking all the pieces and put it together, we were able in one section to create a book in Portuguese, and not only to understand what we are reading, to understand and the grammar and how to pronounce. So that's what I have to say.
Okay.
Now, Mr.
Yes, and we have, in the end, this is the last minute when we were leaving with, these are our teachers, and then we left and we went for a walk to Minneapolis. Thank you.
Hey, Pappa.
Who else is coming?
Yeah, full screen.
That's
a
go ahead.
PDF.
No, it's Keynote.
Video?
No, here, come here. Do that and then full screen. There you go. It's Keynote.
Okay, I'm trying to I'm trying to be practical and inspired by the workshop which I attended along with Penelope and my wife and Miss Angelaki, and I don't remember who else. I'm gonna present three teaching strategies that incorporate use of social media in a classroom. First of all, when we chose this workshop, I began with high expectations, and I wouldn't say I got like no disappointed. It gave me some food for thought. The fact that I attended the workshop gave me some food for thought. So I'm going to start with some positive the comments that I have to make. First of all, it made me think that it is very important, like, to incorporate social media into classroom, because this is because teens that I teach in 8th grade are very familiar with them, they like them, and it's useful for us as educators to take something that students like and put it in into the classroom, because that creates on their end a positive attitude towards learning. And of course, we do know, and I don't have like to explain in detail why it's important like incorporating social media, because these are things that we know. Also, I'm gonna tell about things that the workshop made me like think about. So one thing is this: I have to put, although I didn't have an Instagram account or a TikTok account or any of these, I said, let me try it. Let's like try this, because maybe it's going to create a more positive attitude for my students. The other thing that the workshop made me think is that material posted on social media has authenticity. We do know that it's very it's updated on a regular basis. So as opposed, imagine having students read a passage from a book which was published in 93, like Click book that we uses, as opposed to expose them to material that was posted one day ago. So students like contemporary stuff. They live in the modern world. They get bored easily. So it's important that they use social media for their learning. And another thing that the workshop made me think is that, yeah, let's use social media in the sense that all the posts that are put there are made by by people in different ages. So again, we create a more positive attitude for our students towards learning if they get exposed to posts made by teenagers, as opposed to having them read a passage that a 50-year like old person wrote. So for all these reasons, I said, yeah, I'm gonna begin using more social media, because the only thing, like Mr. Angelaki said, I was using was YouTube videos, and I said, give it a try. Now, on the negative side, I would say I expected more strategies from this seminar to be shown rather than theory. So in reality, I want like more time to be devoted into what kind of activities we can build, and not much theory. But anyway, I thought how I'm gonna use 3 social platforms. I'm gonna present 3 strategies that I think they're useful, and I'm going to talk about the advantages of them. So the first one is when I do the thematic unit about house furniture and home decoration and stuff, and my goal is vocabulary enhancement in this particular case. So my idea, my strategy that incorporates social media was this. I always begin teaching vocabulary in the immersion strategy by showing slides in a keynote presentation that I have. I always teach vocabulary like this. And after that, I told students that they should log into Twitter accounts. Those of them that didn't have a Twitter account, it's the X actually, it turned into X. I told them that they can tell their parents if they have an account, so if they can log in for a second. And they were supposed to search, put hashtag Angelia and Spitogatos over here, so that they could come up with some adverts. Spitogatos is the real estate company, a very well known real estate company in Greece. And they advertise properties that are either for sale or for rent on Twitter. And they were supposed to then pick any advert they would like. And then they had to fill out this worksheet where they should give the link of the advert that they chose, and then they should write for pros and for cons of the property they found. This is this is sample of the students' work that was completed, I think, last week, if I can recall correctly. Now, of course, you're going to ask me, and why couldn't they just find any random picture on Google? Why couldn't they like get any picture? The idea is that first of all is authentic material. So Spitogatos advertises like no real properties. It has the cultural element in the sense that they get to see what houses look like in Greece. And in addition to that, as opposed to other like sources of information they could use, the idea is that on Twitter there are always comments of users about these properties so that they can use. Also, since it's advertising, they're not gonna they get to see positive things, but they have to based on the pictures they see, they have to track for negative aspects. So it's not a mere transferring of information. I look at the picture, the advert, and then I copy paste the information. I have to kind of use what I see in a critical way of thinking and come up with something that is gonna help me understand better the vocabulary. So that was an idea that incorporates use of Twitter. Again, it's now X, as I learned in the seminar, because I'm kind of, not that technologically advanced. The second phase of the project would be that students are supposed to create on CISO their own videos, and they have to advertise their own house that theoretically they want to sell. So it's the Show Me Around the House project. They have to go around, show me pros of their house. Someone should be video recording them, and they have to upload their videos on CISO. That's going to be this something that I do every year, and is a test grade so that they produce something authentic. And it's a real life situation. The second strategy has to do with the thematic unit presenting myself, which is nationality, external characteristics, job, family, hobbies, and all these things. My goal in this particular activity is to help students improve their writing skills. So the idea was that, first of all, we began with reading comprehension. You know this passage, Greek language teachers, is from Unit 12, click. Different people present themselves in a passage that they post on social media in their effort to make new friends. So we did read these passages. Nectarius introduced himself as a teacher, just moved to Athens and wants to make friends. So he's talking about himself. So does Antonius or whatever. We did some reading comprehension exercises. And then I asked students to do the same. So compose a paragraph in which they introduce themselves. But the idea here is that they will not just write the paragraph, but they're going to go to EmojiPedia and they're going to use emojis. So they came up with some paragraphs like the ones that I show here. Again, you're going to ask me, and the question is, why shouldn't I just tell them, go write a paragraph? And what is the difference between this and telling them use emojis? What I noticed, because this is an activity that I have to do every year, is that this year, when I incorporated use of emojis, and it was like mandatory for them to put them in the writing, they became more creative because they're like they're so familiar with this kind of icons and expressing themselves like through pictures and stuff. So the fact that they wanted, in a way, just because they wanted to use the certain emojis, made them write more as opposed to just presenting themselves in a paragraph without like drawing or showing anything. So I thought that was like, no, I'm sorry, I cannot like make it bigger for you, Mr. Stergiou. But I have sample work that you can see in my classroom. My apologies. And the third strategy is related to the thematic unit protection of the environment. I haven't completed, I have no sample of work of my students to show because this is in unit 16 or 17, so I haven't reached that unit. It's the beginning of the year. Now, my goal in this particular activity is the improvement of listening, comprehension, and speaking skills. For this particular activity, I thought it would be useful to use Instagram. So I will have students go and search posts from Ecogenia, if I pronounce it word, and you understand the word game here, ecology, ecologia, and ecogenia. And these people here on Instagram, they came up with a diary of what I can do like on a regular basis, a plan, what I can do
in the course of 30 days to protect the environment. So you can see that, you know, on day 13, I'm going to do this. On day 12, I'm going to do this. Or like, no, every day there's like a different activity that I have to do. So the idea here is that I would divide students into two groups, and then a representative from group 1 will be asking a person from group 2, what can I do on day 14? And again, it's not what is the advantage of the activity. The vocabulary shown here is quite high level for my students. So some of the words they're going to recognize and some of the words they're not going to recognize. So they have to figure it out through the pictures. So they get some kind of help to express themselves, but they're not going to be allowed only to read what it says here, but enrich it in a way. So this way they do get help in order to speak, and but also they have to fill in the gaps with other words that they have to that they already know, and they also develop the speaking skills because they have to understand. For example, if group A people are asking τι κάνεις την ημέρα, την 13η μέρα ή τρως παγωτό or whatever, they have to figure out what the question is about. I don't know, I mean, it's the first year I'm incorporating social media, except for YouTube that I've been using for so long. In classroom, I don't have any specific data as to the effectiveness of the strategies, but I think that as strategies, they can be modified to accommodate the needs of other audiences as well, like higher level or lower level or other languages. And I'm very open to positive criticism or feedback from you at at your earliest convenience. Thank you.
Here. Oh no, this is the wrong one. Again.
Okay, great. Right. So
Okay. Where can I change it? From here. Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Athina Galouka. I'm teacher of classics, Greek language and civilization here at Archimedean Upper Conservatory. Thank you all for being here, and especially to Dr. Kafkoulis for organizing this conference and giving us the opportunity to participate at the Carla Institute. Today I will be presented on the Carla 2024 module, Teaching for Proficiency in Dual Language Immersion, which I attended this summer from 16 to 18 of July. This module aimed at equipping educators with essential tools to support their learners in becoming proficient and independent language users. Because time today is short, I will only focus on some key ideas discussed in the module and my implementation of these ideas in the classroom. To begin with, the foundational concept of the module was the promotion of the ACTFL proficiency guidelines. ACTFL stands for the American Council of the Teaching of Foreign Languages and is dedicated to promoting effective language teaching, learning, and assessment.
The ACTFL is similar to the model we use in Greek language exams, Ελληνομάθεια, which is based on the common European framework of reference for language. However, ACTFL has some differences from the CFR. For instance, ACTFL's performance descriptors, which tell us what students can do with the target language, are 4, with 3 sub-levels each. The levels are novice, intermediate, advanced, and superior. We exclude distinguished, and the sub-levels low, middle, and high. In the CFR case, we have 6 levels, and this alters the teaching planning, assessment, practice, and learning. We can draw on the guidelines purpose to establish clear benchmarks for language proficiency in order to assess our students' progress in their language learning journey. ACTFL has 3 modes of communication: interpersonal, which is 2-way communication; interpretive, 1-way listening and reading; presentational, 1-way speaking and writing. These are essential to language learning, and in practice, we teach them in the same way. What I find particularly useful about these key ideas is the focus on domain of proficiency. These are the following. First, the functions and tasks learners can perform with the language, such as narrating a story, comparing ideas, and so on. Secondly, context and content shape, which refer to the topics that the learner can understand and discuss in situations where language is used. Third, the text type refer to the length and complexity of text that the learner can produce. Finally, the accuracy, namely how well learner is able to be understood and to understand, language control, grammar and syntax, vocabulary. Together, these domains provide a comprehensive view of language use. Teaching students to become expert learners is vital in language education. It starts with setting clear learning goals. It is important to assign learning tasks with a purpose, to practice and apply the skills that match the instruction goals of the lesson. This engages learners in intentional, authentic, and meaningful activities. Educators also need to teach metacognitive strategies and evidence-based practices that reflect effective methods. When successfully implemented, these methods can improve learners' results as students understand their learning process better. As educators, our role is to be aware of the learning intentions and set success criteria in order to help our learners take ownership of their education. We can utilize several effective tools. Proficiency checklists allow students to self-assess and track their project. Can-do statements are specific phrases that articulate what learners should be able to do at each proficiency level. Gathering evidence of student proficiency is essential for understanding their development. This can include both formative and summative assessments. I use student portfolios. Students create those using the school's unique technology, Archie. The students upload their portfolios on Archie or CISO and showcase their progress. Observational data gathered during interactive activities provide information on student engagement and proficiency levels. As such, the ACTFL guidelines are vital for developing effective language programs. They empower the students to become proficient, confident, and expert learners in their target language. Another key idea introduced in the module was the Pappa model. I will present its practical implementation in the classroom. The Pappa model promotes content and language approaches to proficiency assessment. It provides a way to create engaging lessons. Pappa stands for contextualization, awareness, practice, and autonomy. This model emphasizes the integration of content and language in the classroom. As a participant, I enjoyed an activity that we practiced during the Institute, which involved designing a Kappa unit. This was what they gave us, and we had to create our own. The module provided us with useful materials, and we also created our own. Mine is this model lesson on Greek language based on Kappa and 5e model. So here we had to define the content objectives and the language objectives, what students can do with the specific verbs, understand, speak, and write, narrate the main topics of the plot in a simple Greek myth and a poem. Also, they can find the meaning of the symbols and their relationship to the healthy diet. And language objectives, students will be able to narrate verbally and write in small paragraphs using the past tense and the subject and verb agreement. So those are the objectives and then the Kappa model. I will explain it later. I use mythology and literature to teach the main vocabulary and grammatical didactical phenomena of the thematic unit of healthy food and diet. In doing so, I help students connect language to real-world contexts that resonate with them. Additionally, my lesson plan is based on the Teacher Clarity Playbook. This means ensuring that students understand what they are learning, the content, why they are learning it, the relevance, and how they can demonstrate their understanding, the assessment. The learning activity for Greek language integrates the Kappa model. My lesson plan is intended for a class of 20 non-native students, 11 boys and 9 girls, aged 16, who live in Miami, originated mostly from Latin American countries, have English and or Spanish as their mother language, and Greek is taught as a foreign language 4 hours a week. According to the Greek language levels and CFR, students of this level are considered basic users of the language. According to the ACTFL, students of this level are considered intermediate low. The purpose is immersion based on the Kappa inquiry instruction mode. This is a 3-hour teaching scenario. We use the myth Hercules and the Apple of Hesperides and the corresponding song, The Apples of Hesperides, by the Spiros Labrou Children Choir, in combination with Lina Kasdagli's poem, The Children of the Earth. The aim is for the students to learn vocabulary about the myth, fruits, and healthy eating. They also learn the grammatical phenomenon of the past tense and the syntax form of subject-verb agreement. All of them are organized using the Kappa inquiry instruction and the precepts of task-based learning. We use the interactive teaching method, developing the 5 language skills, namely listening, speaking, reading, writing, and intercultural competence. I chose mythology because myths convey stories of gods and heroes, move into the realm of the extra-human and fascinate students. Students have no trouble understanding them as long as the stories are short and the vocabulary relatively simple. Likewise, literature's experiential nature activates students' imagination. I also chose a poem and a song as authentic material. Their short length, musicality, and repeated patterns help children retain new vocabulary and grammar. This is the song from the myth. It describes the myth. And I have modified it to the level A2 or intermediate low for ACTFL. And this is the poem that I use during the class. I also chose a poem and a song as authentic material. Their short length, musicality, and repeated patterns help children retain new vocabulary and grammar. No. It goes. No, it goes this one. Okay. Never mind. Sorry for this. Okay. The first component of Kappa, contextualization, involves situating the learning within a meaningful scenario. For Greek instruction, this means a thematic unit, food and diet, through discussing Greek mythology and literature. Students can explore the vocabulary and grammatical syntactical structures found in the myth and the associated materials I provide. We begin by providing a brief introduction to Greek mythology. We discuss its significance in Greek culture and the common themes found in popular myth, like heroism, love, etc. We use visual aids, such as images of Hercules and Hesperides, relevant songs and poems, and short video clips summarizing the well-known myth. I then engage students in a discussion about their favorite myths or heroes, posing the questions: who is your favorite myth and why? What characters do you know? Next, we move to awareness. This is where students explore and engage activity with the content. When we focus on vocabulary, the students note the unknown words from the text and song. They write them down and apply the strategies we learned for identification and word association, and then they are encouraged to either write the definition or draw in the space provided. Focusing on form through the content for grammar learning, students familiarize themselves with major grammatical phenomena, such as the past tense. The past tense helps them narrate stories. We also focus on the form for the syntactical phenomenon of agreement between a verb and its subject. We use a variety of strategies like bold letters, colors, annotation, a variety of exercises using technology, educational tools, and games. The third component, practice, is about what students create or produce as evidence of their learning. In this lesson, students write their own short myths using targeted grammatical structures. They create presentations on Seesaw and present them in class. This gives them the opportunity to apply what they learned. Afterwards, students are divided into small groups to work on the thematic unit. Each group creates a short skit using everything they have learned from the myth-related activities. They role-play real-life scenarios on food and diet, integrating new vocabulary, grammar, and syntax. The activity encourages creative elements, costumes, or props if possible. Everyone gives and gets peer feedback. We use feedback to practice pronunciation, intonation, and fluency in a supportive environment. Finally, we have autonomy. Here I assign students to write an article about healthy food and a short myth that reflects their own experiences or ideas. I encourage them to use pictures, one podcast, and the vocabulary and structures learned in class. After writing, students exchange their myths with a partner, focusing on clarity, creativity, and the cultural elements that make their stories unique. They ask their classmates comprehension questions in Greek. Students share their myths with the class, encouraging comfort levels regarding public speaking. I also evaluate students' understanding of grammatical concepts and their ability to use them in context. Clear rubrics based on SATFL standards can guide the evaluation process. For homework, students can research a lesser-known myth from their own cultural background and prepare a short presentation for the next class, fostering further autonomy in learning the language. Students' evaluation is based on their participation in group activities, engagement in discussions, creativity and effort in their myths, and their ability to incorporate feedback. This activity not only teaches language skills, but also fosters cultural understanding while maintaining a learner-centered approach in line with the Kappa model. In conclusion, proficiency research provides valuable insight that can transform our teaching practices. By integrating content and language, setting realistic expectations, and employing effective models such as Kappa, we can better support our students' language and content learning. Thank you for your attention, and special thanks to the Carla instructors and Dr. Kafkoulis, who gave us the opportunity to attend the Institute and made this conference possible.
Okay. Deep into the social media pool, developmentally appropriate use of social media in early childhood education. 2 examples. I am Penelope Koulouri and I teach Greek and math in Greek at pre-K Archimedean. Okay, the course I attended was EmojiED, integrating authentic social media in language teaching. Throughout this course, we explore the functionalities of microblogging sites and features of a variety of social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We saw a demonstration of how microblogging sites have been used in language learning in late elementary through post-secondary levels, and we designed cultural awareness raising activities. Could I use social media in my pre-K immersion-based language and math learning classroom, and how? Research, studies, and reflections on experience show that social media embedded in strong relationships and joyful, engaging experience by well-prepared educators can enhance early childhood education, with digital citizenship being a key aspect of digital literacy for young children. What is the learning environment in my class, the methods and strategies I use? Many of our classroom activities are child-initiated activities, fun games, imaginative play, and interactive stories with props, math stories problems, and digital stories. As children build their everyday to communicate their needs and obligatory vocabulary for the concepts and become more confident to use the language, we move to more complex skills and concepts, and from hands-on learning activities to abstract thinking. Assessments, documentation, and learning stories, you will see later, play a key role in how lesson plans and follow-up activities are developed to support learning. The project approach is our classroom approach, as the amazing team there said, in which students can explore the world and get exposed to authentic material in the target language and culture. Technology, of course, is used as an active and engaging tool, providing a balance of activities, connecting on-screen and off-screen activities with an emphasis on co-viewing and discussion. I work within a pedagogy of multiliteracies, supporting my young students to interpret and produce complex texts, combining learning modes, text, graphics, drawing, illustration, crafts, cutouts they make, sculptures, animation videos, and so on. Social media, my goal for this year and the next years, to integrate into the classroom social media practices effectively and safely. Okay, my lens, highlighting my notes from the course. Microblogging, first, is a combination of content production and instant messaging. The users create short text, I like that for the little kids, images, video clips, and share them. The users interact with others' posts, Interaction includes likes, comments, direct messages, shares, emojis. I love them. Are visual icons, living creatures, objects, and symbolic concepts. You will see later on a slide how we use them for symbolic concepts. They are used in text messages, enabling expressive communication beyond plain text. And the sign hashtag mark keywords or topics in a post to give users a way to categorize messages and recognize topics. Using hashtags, everybody can search for famous people, food, animals, places, and so on. Okay, let's now see two examples of developmentally appropriate teaching practices I thought I could use using social media. Oh, first, welcome emojis in our classroom. We can explore, first of all, create and use emojis in everyday routines, in imaginative play, in maths. We can make craft emojis, big ones, in math stories, in explicit systematic teaching. You will see that later. In emergent writing activities, to express their feelings, as that group said, to express their feelings and emotions, to tell us about their likes and dislikes, growing their vocabulary, to read others' feelings, likes, and dislikes, to communicate their ideas and thoughts, to reflect and give feedback, to create multimodal short text and give personal reaction to the content, to learn cross-cultural differences in emoji, to learn that people are unique and can interpret similar or even the same emoji in different ways, and that risks miscommunication. There are some examples. I'm from Greece. I play football. Peace in the world. I love to swim. Good job. And there is a combo. Summer is my favorite season. A combo of emojis. The sun, the glasses, the flip-flop. And this is not a teasing emoji. The tongue out emoji is used to express that I am simply enjoying the food. And we do not need emojis creator apps to make emoji. We can design our own. Okay. Explicit teaching, from concrete thinking to abstract thinking. Number bonds, addition, subtraction. 7 minus 3 equals 4. I know how to do it. And you post it. Tell me your feedback. Did you like it? Did you like my activity? Did you like what I did? Let's listen to Grace. Grace, now we are in Tiliana. Boris na napisano matatu. Idakulang tawag. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Μεγαλύτερο. Το τρίτο και το 7 μπορείς να μου διαβάσεις. Διάβασε, τρία. Όχι, μην κάνεις ακόμα την πρόσθεση. Διάβασε τι γίνεται εκεί. Πετάει το όλο μαζί. Ωραία. Κάνε τώρα την πρόσθεση. Πάμε. Πώς διαβάσεις με αυτή τη σύμβολη, 3 και 4. Και είσαι λεπτά. Τώρα θέλω να βάλεις μέσα στη δεκάδα τόσες τάπες, όσες είναι ο αριθμός. Και βάλει 2 πρόγραμμα παρακαλώ. Για να βλέπω τις τάπες που θέλεις. Μπράβο. Ótimo, πολύ ωραία. Και η Λιάννα. Λιάννα. Πολύ ωραία. Πολύ καλά. Όλα μαζί πώς έγιναν μαζί. Δες, 7, πολύ ωραία. Γράψτε μου τον αριθμό 7 παρακαλώ εσύ. 7. Στον πίνακα. Στον πίνακα, εδώ. Γράψτε αριθμό 7. Μείον 3 ίσον μπράβο 4. Πολύ ωραία. 7 μείον 3 ίσον 4. Πολύ ωραία. Τι σημαίνει αυτό. Τι είναι μείον 3. Τι είναι μείον 3. Okay, and you give us the feedback. The other kids can post their ideas. Somebody can write 3 and 4 equals 7, or 3 is flying away, and so on. Okay. Oops. Okay, and the other example is about all these posts, images, reels, and video clips we can find on in social media. So we can use them, we can collect them downloaded, so we can work offline and used in the classroom to provide authentic opportunities to develop the target language, to read multimodal text, to create multimodal text, summarizing, telling, and writing the most important ideas in a meaningful way, to connect the familiar. Thank you, Mr. Adoni, to connect the familiar to the unfamiliar and explore a relationship between different cultures, to increase active participation and peer interaction, to extend their knowledge. Okay, this is Felix is teaching. I'm behind. He teaches. He tries. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and now thanks to TikTok, we have a reel, a video clip. The eggs usually are brown and white, but there are multiple ways to color them, and we found, this, oops, no. Help. I want to go to TikTok. There. A technique.
Θα έχω για να είναι τρεσμένα στο μεγαλύτερο του μισές πάνω πιο εύκολα. Έχω κόψει αλουμινόχαρτα σε ένα μέγεθος να χωράει το δουλειάκι να το επιλέξουμε, ό,τι μου περισσεύει στο κόμβο. Απλώς το πάνω σε κάθε αλουμινόχαρτα.
Okay, that's it. It's not need to watch it, all of that. So yes, and then they can color eggs in the class, and we could post it, share it, I don't know, maybe to CISO. So, and there, this is from Instagram, eye eggs versus sunny side up eggs. So there is what Magda and Andoni said before, the culture behind things and concepts. And we can go further with this thing there, okay? And there is another story in the forest by Emma. They describe. Elisavet. Play. Okay, so we can extend their knowledge, we can make connections to the target culture, to art. We can, I found this on Instagram. It's a nice picture from Vrarona Museum. And this famous sculpture with the child smile and the bunny on the tunic and in her hands. And okay, but we can go somewhere else. People used to get outside in the nature. They love listening to the birds singing and water flowing gently. Can you hear it? Thank you. Thanks. No, the other one. Okay, this is the second one that people like cool music festivals. They celebrate traditional music and community in outdoors in forest. There is something at Pinecrest. Yes? And yeah, we asked them, have you ever been there? Okay, and the other one was about the nature. We can go out at the playground and listen to the birds, not to the water, but for sure to the birds. Connecting the familiar with the unfamiliar. Thank you. Thank you.
Κυρία Βιτσιλάίου, θέλει το γυαλί της. Here, right here. Yeah. Thank you.
Open on the other side.
Okay.
We put it there. We put it in. I opened it, but it's not coming out.
Να φέρω το στικάκι.
Ναι, αλλά νομίζω ότι θα το κάνουμε. Και παίξαμε. Δεν έπαιξε προηγούμενο.
Έπαιξε και το βίντεο.
That's why. Πώς είναι ανοιχτό.
Ah, yes, that's why. Okay.
It's
Left it open. Okay.
There you go.
So, τι ώρα είναι. Καλησπέρα. Good evening. My name is Elisavet Vitzilaiou. I'm a Greek math teacher at Archimedean Academy, as you know, 4th grade. And today I will show you 4 strategies, 4 examples from my teaching, from my classroom, and the Immersion strategies I use in my class, inspired from Carla seminar. Of course, I used already some of those, but now are more defined. I feel more confident to do so. So I try to incorporate
content and language integration, enriched by Greek culture. Let's see here. My main goal is to teach math in Greek using everyday interactions and math terminology. And also I use strategies as align language and content goals, visual aids, and interactive activities. I'm gonna illustrate those in a while. So my teaching is rooted into on the 3 pillars of immersion: bilingualism and biliteracy. They are correlated, of course, high academic achievement and sociocultural competence. This is the first example. Greek in school routines. We use repeatedly the same phrases and vocabulary and words, and we use for that in order to make my students feel more familiar and use the vocabulary and the phrases. Tools like visual input charts because we update the words and the vocabulary and the phrases according to our progress, my students' progress, and visual because they need the paintings in order to memorize. Flashcards, total physical response. We try to explain with all our body, with gestures, signs, etc. And I encourage my students to guess the word instead of say directly the translation, to explore, to try energetically. I'm sorry. So techniques I use: prompts vs reacts, supported turn and talk, and I'm going to explain in details. Here is one of the visual input charts I have in my classroom. It's displayed all year long, and I update it accordingly. Like I have words like kalimera with the corresponding painting. Good morning, kalispera, good evening, kalos ήρθατε, welcome. I try to write the same words, the same significant words with the same color, like parakalo in green, prosochi, red, prosochi, prosochi parakalo, attention please, μάτια και αυτιά εδώ, eyes and ears on me here. So also some question words like ποιος, who. We use those questions, you know, all the time in the classroom. Ποιος θα έρθει στον πίνακα, who's gonna go to the board, ποιος ξέρει, who knows, etc. So this chart is used mostly by my students because they are their phrases like μπορώ να πάω στο μπάνιο, can I go to the restroom, μπορώ να πιω νερό, can I drink water, and some words, very common words for the classroom, like τετράδιο, like journal, and όπως τετράδιο. Θέλω να πω τέλος πάντων, είναι η σύγχυση. I'm confused when I have to pass from the one language to the other. Μολύβι, pencil, δασκάλα, teacher, and finally the last word, very important, βαθμός, grade, and arista. Arista is my students' favorite word because they are excited to have arista. Arista means excellent in Greek. So, and here, I don't see the charts, I don't know why. Here, supposed to be 2 charts, but I don't see anything, I don't know why. It's very important for Greek math to... Is
it these ones?
No.
Yeah.
Like PDFs.
Yeah, they're not there. They're not coming.
Anyways, I'm going to explain to you. The Greek words for numbers are very fundamental for Greek math, of course. I take it for granted. The fluent use of numbers in Greek start from the pre-K, of course, but we have every school year to review and to repeat the same and the same again, because in order to recall the corresponding words. And we use some specific charts with all the numbers, the central numbers, not all, every single one, of course, impossible, in Greek. And I upload those charts on Archie resources as well, in order for my students to recall and to review for their convenience at home. Those charts are displayed in the classroom on the walls. And I had a chart with the numbers and another about decimals, how we read decimals, and how also we write the extended form of decimals. Anyways, next time. So here is about the Greek words of numbers as well. Interactive activities, very important for my students, are the recordings. My recordings in Cinemath help our recordings, we all do that, help our students to memorize the procedures, the words, the steps we follow at home, because it's hard for them to recall. They don't hear Greek at the grocery shop or watching commercials, for sure. So cinema helps a lot. And my students also, and I, use Seesaw. Seesaw is a useful app, as you know, where we do a lot using Seesaw. But one of those, except assignments, etc., we can ask from our students to record themselves and to upload their videos. I have to say that for sure they are somehow restrained, and they are anxious at the beginning of the procedure, but finally they feel very confident and they are brave to do so, and they become teachers and they explain to us what they have learned. It's very important. It's like a metacognitive skill and interactive activity, of course. I'm going to let you listen to this student. They have a participation like 99%. We try to organize something like competitions and to, give them the motivation. So, oh yeah, great. So after that, reviewing the Greek words for numbers, we had the project to relax and to enjoy. My favorite number, they really enjoyed because they were drawing their favorite number. They explained why this number is their favorite number. And here, their paintings, they have written also on their paintings the corresponding Greek words, very important. Like we could, maybe you see some misspellings, but we have to encourage them all the time, as you know. So here is 9, 77, 44, 10, 175, 24, 64 κτλ. etc. And we have an exhibition in our class. An entire big wall is covered with their paintings. They're amazing artistic paintings. I love them. And now go to the, I don't want to get you tired. That's why I'm a little bit fast. Our third example is about operations and math symbols in Greek. Operations and metal math are very fundamental when it comes to Greek math at Archimedean. So the technique I use is bridging Greek and American methods. How repeatedly use of Greek terminology and mathematical processes. Interactive learning through cinemasynthesis, as I have already mentioned. Here is an example of bridging. This is uploaded on CISO as a chart, as a study guide for my students. It's a bridging between Greek Euclidean division and American long division. They could, actually, my students practice on them, and they know the procedure, and finally, they tend to prefer one of those two ways to do the operation. I mean, when it comes to addition, subtraction, etc. And here, when it comes to division, they prefer truly, honest, Greek division, because it's more simple and more convenient for them. And I have also the corresponding words for the numbers in English and in Greek. So I have here some recordings. These are some additions in Greek. After finishing a topic about addition with regrouping, we did recordings, and they were very good on it. I'm gonna let you listen to examples.
Ocho και 4 ίσον 12. Γράφω 2 κρατάω 1. 1 και 6 και 3 ίσον 10. Γράφω 0, κρατάω 1. 1 και 7 και 3 ίσον 11. 168 και 334 ίσον 1.102. 876 και 134. 6 και 4 ίσον 10. Γράφω 0, κρατάω 1. 1 και 7 και 3 ίσον 11. Γράφω 1, κρατάω 1. 1 και 8 και 1 ίσον 10. 876 και 134 ίσον 1010.
Yeah, right. So, and the second. Okay, let's go to the next. So, and the last example is how I try when I have the opportunity to engage my students with Greek culture. It's about ancient Greek mathematicians. There are some notable mathematicians related to our curriculum, like Archimedes, who calculated the number P, and ties also to our school's name. Euclid, who invented the Euclidean algorithm in relation to Greek long division, and Eratosthenes, who invented the sieve of Eratosthenes, identifying prime and composite numbers, content related to the curriculum as well. Let's see. So the project, I'm trying to be more fast. Our project is called the sieve of Eratosthenes. The students recreate the sieve of Eratosthenes in a classroom activity. This activity aimed to introduce the students to the ancient Greek civilization and culture and its contribution to science. My students were amazed how even more than 2,000 years ago in ancient Greek, how advanced were the sciences and art. And at this point, we explore a lot of common words in sciences, medicine, and arts rooted in Greek words. So here, I have some photos from my classroom. First photo, I'm explaining to my students how it works, and because we have our corresponding topic material like prime and composite numbers, and they were struggling how to differentiate, to identify those. So I'm explaining on the board how we can differentiate following Eratosthenes' invention, the prime and composite numbers till 144 according the multiplication tables, of course. The second photo, they are trying to do the same on the board. They were very happy and excited and creative. As you can see here, their own sieves, they create their own sieves like Eratosthenes. And finally, as a conclusion, I try to show you how I use content and language integration through Greek language immersion in math. And I believe that by Greek math, students have a great opportunity for language immersion and cultural awareness, broadening at the same time their horizons in math. Thank you.
Actually, the most impressive thing that Eratosthenes did, he calculated the circumference of the Earth. That is very, very impressive. Τώρα η κυρία Παπά.
Okay. Βλέπετε.
Τι είπες? Το πάω ταξίδι κατευθείαν. Λοιπόν, okay, my name is Maria Pappa. I teach the Greek language in 5th grade, and it's been my 15th year in the US, the 12th year in Archimedean, and I'm so impressed today of all the presentations, especially on what we actually do in Archimedean. What I'm going to talk to you today is this Creativity in the Classroom, the workshop that they call it Institute, that I participated in Minneapolis this summer. And what you see here with us is what I used to see every day when we were there, because the difference between what you probably saw in your institutes and mine was that there were like a lot of different materials. Every day, these two students were coming in with two of those each, and they were passing out not just papers and colors and materials like that, but games, ropes, newspapers, whatever you can imagine that would make us move around and touch stuff. And they would make us put things together to create something else. They would make us like, first of all, starting with team building strategies. And what was the most important thing for me was, how do I go to the next one here? Okay. Okay, the course objectives, and you can see I don't want to take too much time on this, and it simply was us all teachers. There were like 25 teachers mostly from Minneapolis, and teaching middle school and high school, foreign languages, Spanish, French, Native American languages, Greek. I was from Archimedean, and we were like brought together and built a team around the table. We started with something I really wanted to do with you today, but I didn't. I'm not going to try because I'm the last one. But if I was the first one, they made us choose different people around and create groups, and how you do that. There were different methods of how to put kids together who you're not choosing, they are choosing, and how you make them feel safe so they can create language originally, not just learn the language. Okay. So what was the most important thing that I started saying is that we all know that you're learning when you're out of the comfort zone. You're learning when you're in the growth zone, but there's also a panic zone, which is just out of the growth zone, and it's exactly where this panic starts when we are at school. This is not a small center in the neighborhood. It's a school, and we have 1,500 students from pre-K to high school. We are teaching different levels of the Greek language. We have different objectives, and we supposed to use creativity now. That's my goal. So I want to give you this idea of how you can actually not just use the videos that we make and so many other things that you all said, and we are all doing it, but how you can manage to be in the growth zone and not crush the panic zone. And you will see some videos here. Okay, that's what I said already. What we do, we have done a lot, and you know it. We are also doing the Greek spelling bee Melissoula in Greek. We watch movies. We occasionally collaborate with musicians from Greece. We prepare the Greek songs and dances for the Greek night, which takes us for about a month, 4 weeks. We create books in the book creator, first and second grade in Archimedean have done it already. We don't have the time to show it to you, but
It's amazing because we have the pictures, we have the words, we have also the sounds of each word and phrases. We use videos to warm up the lessons daily. We use Seesaw, and these are resources. Some of the resources I managed to put together for you, like different things that they told us we can use, and they opened me to a different world of how you can actually start the class with a virtual, with a video for about 2-3 minutes, so you can warm up the class and not just have them repeat the sentences that I used to do. So that's the warming up of moving around and doing stuff which is not in the panic zone. Okay, here we have some sentences that they are on the wall. It's what I used to do, as I said, what we're still doing, because we have to always make sure we know how to communicate with different instructions, like come here, go there, do this, go on the board, close the door, bring me this, can I have that? Okay, all these are sentences that we practice every day, and this is a different way to do it. So you can have a dice with different questions, and this is how you start going from the growth to panic, because they are trying to create language by themselves, and it's not just what they know and what we teach them, but also what they can put together of what they have learned already. Some other like creative activities that we used to do. It's this is a project for seasons and months. We call it mobile. I think it's the same for Greek and English. And there are sentences. You connect the weather, you connect the holidays, you connect materials, songs, whatever you want with this. This is another project that you write an invitation for your birthday party, and this is how you write the address on the envelope. So we create the envelope, and where you put the sender and the recipient. This is something we need for Elinomathia too, for Alpha N for kids. And this is an activity I got from the Summer Institute. As I said, it was really important for all of us to create language. So this is an activity that you stand in the line and you are offering like a present with your hands to the person in front of you, and you say, here you go, I have a present for you, and the other one has to say, wow, thank you, or what can I do with that? And then you start the conversation and see how long you can get it. This is another project, the mythology classwork and grammar, that I also got it from them because, okay, we did it with French language there. You had this on the board, and the English and the Greek, and no, the English and the French. And if you didn't know French, you could use the English, which was like, release. I'm not doing this, as you see on the board here. I have only the Greek, the symbols and the Greek gods and the kind of power of the gods. And this is to review, actually to start reviewing from the letters, lowercase and uppercase letters up to possessive, which is very important and very difficult in for fifth graders. And for them to actually say "O Theos" and "I Thea" was a really fun way to manage them, because they tend to say Theos and Thea, which is completely different thing. Okay, so we made this presentation. We started, as you can see here, with the oito and the endings. We went to the personal pronouns. We went to, like you see here, fifth and sixth grade, fifth and sixth day. So this is a project of about 2 weeks, practicing well, something that they know, but it's not to learn it like grammar, but to learn it because you need to make sentences, you need to communicate, because they knew what it was coming. Okay, this is a different one. I will come back to what we did with the Greek gods. But this is a previous project all about me. We all do that in different ways in our classes, but this one is also the identity, like the, okay, we call it identity. Identity card, okay? And send all the pages about their favorite things. This is another project about Karagiozis. And we could talk here about using different adjectives, the tall, the short, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, now let's see a little bit of this that I was talking about, the Greek mythology. Don't get into panic zone. Okay. Is it working? Why don't I have a video here?
It's because of the picture.
Picture?
Yeah, it didn't see the video.
I went there.
So they saved as a PDF.
It was saved as a PDF, and now we don't have the video. How can we play the video? Can I play it from the mic here?
Yeah.
Even if it's not saved, it doesn't matter.
Video stop.
No.
So your fingers, you can unlock it.
So where do you want it? There.
Where is it?
Right there. Okay.
Let me get. No, I need to go grab something from the cafeteria. 1 second. Wait. I have a test here if you want. I don't know, because she needs the adapter. She has USB-C.
Okay, until they manage this, I wanted to say that I was so impressed with a lot of things that we can do differently, and we can still have the control of the students, because that's our concern always, because this is a learning environment with objectives, and we really need them to be organized in the line and sit down and do the work and talk one after the other and not just jump in there. But in reality, when you put creativity on the table, especially for first time, they're not like really used to that, they're getting crazy because they really like it. And the idea is for them to use it, but also to be able to step down and let the others also play or speak. Because this is a good opportunity for the students who do not participate normally, who are quiet, and sometimes, like now it's beginning of October, maybe later I wouldn't say the same thing, but there are students, more than 50% of the students that I never heard their voice. They are doing well, they write, but they are not talking at all. Like they start saying Kalimera and Ta leme avryo, which when they leave, but still not everybody. They, some of them turn into Spanish when you talk to them in Greek because they think it's a foreign language, so let's use Spanish. But I mean, this is something they really love. When we played what you will see there it's something like music chairs. So you put the chairs in a circle, but in our classrooms with all the tables and all this, it's not really easy for us to make the circle for 25. Maybe you can make it for 5, 7, 8. So they have to switch. And so the beginning is that they need to, in the Greek mythology project, they needed to just learn to say, O Theos Aris, ήρθε Athina, right? The first thing. And then when they say that, they have to switch chairs without bumping to each other. Okay. So that's another thing that I had to learn, because I saw so many of them landing on the floor. Thankfully, if you play this every day, like in a couple of days, they calm down and they accept this as a new reality in the classroom. It's very easy to give them a worksheet and have them do it every day. And it's much more difficult to put creativity in the classroom, and it's much more work for the teacher to prepare it, because we saw it firsthand, because we were participating. If the teacher doesn't do things, doesn't prepare well, and second, doesn't explain well, there's a huge distraction. There's like, you don't understand what you're gonna do, you start complaining, you start talking, you're pushing, you're asking, you're demanding things, so it's really chaotic. So yeah, there was a very, like, we're using virtual, we're using also the sound, but we are not using the taste so much. So what I did one day is like what we did there. We had in a paper plate, zahari, sugar, salt, marmelada, jam, mayonnaise, mustard. So they had to try it with a toothpick, and we were like imagining and saying, this is salty, this is mild, this is sweet, but just the words, okay? That's also something we can do, and it's easy. It's not like you bring the kitchen here to cook, okay? Because the cooking, for example, we do it for a project for a month before Christmas. We do it, but in CISO, they have to record that from home. And they have to talk about the ingredients, because that's also a part of the Alpha curriculum. Another thing that was also something I wouldn't imagine how to do it is how to use your body in learning. So we had this with the 9 of the 12 gods, and you're using the left and right and close and far and up and down. So you're giving all these words, and you give one paper or one card to each of the participants with one only information. You are Zeus, and you are on the left of Hera. So then they have to find who is Hera, and then they have to go and put themselves on the right of Hera, but then the other one is coming and says, oh, I'm behind Hera, or I'm in the front, and it's also chaotic. It also is chaotic. So to prepare for this, you have to make sure from the days before that they really know well how to say behind, who is this and who is that, and how. So because some of them know it, if some of them do not know it really well, it's a conflict. So that's why I'm saying there's a lot of preparation before, and there's also the idea of speaking only one language. So giving the instructions only in Greek, it makes it a bit chaotic. but also it's something that they are learning. If you start saying εδώ, εκεί, έλα, κάνε γραμμή, or they start learning it, but yes, it needs patience. Patience. So I'm sorry about that. We are the last. I hope we can get it soon. That's the highlight of my presentation. Okay, I'm going to talk about this now. So this is the last part. And this is something they really do this there. And I liked it so much. I mean, the creativity is also this way. It's an evaluation of your classroom and an evaluation of the lesson that day. And it's easy also to do it. You'll see, I think in one of the videos, we do it a little bit differently, quickly. It's like, what are you asking?
Ωραία. Μία γραμμή θέλω με τους θεούς εδώ. Οι θεοί εδώ και οι θεές. Θεοί εδώ. Μία γραμμή εδώ. Και τα ζωάκια, μπράβο, τα ιερά ζώα. Λίγο πιο πίσω, σας παρακαλώ, λίγο πιο πίσω. Λίγο πιο πίσω. Και εσύ λίγο πιο πίσω. Μπράβο, και εσύ πιο πίσω. Μπράβο, ωραία. Για να δούμε. Ποιος είσαι εσύ, ποιος θεός είσαι. Έλα, στο, εκεί. Και ποιο είναι το ιερό ζώο του Δία. Έλα. Ωραία, για να κάνουμε το δεύτερο θεό. Ποιο είναι το ιερό ζώο του Σύρας. Έλα. Τρίτο. Ωραία. Ποιο είναι το ιερό ζώο της Αθηνά. Ωραία. Και Αφροδίτη, το ιερό ζώο. Μπράβο. Τώρα για να μου πείτε. Εγώ είμαι ο Δίας. Εντάξει, για πες. Εγώ είμαι ο Δίας. Εγώ είμαι το Ωραία. Εντάξει, μπορείς να πεις το ιερό ζώο του Δία. Μπράβο, του Δία. Ωραία, πάλι. Εγώ είμαι Δίας. Εγώ είμαι ιερό. Μπράβο. Για να δούμε το δεύτερο. Ποιος είσαι. Εγώ είμαι Ήρα. Εγώ είμαι το ιερό ζώο της Ήρας. Το ιερό ζώο της Ήρας. Ιερό. Ζώο της Ήρας. Όχι η Δίας, Δίας είναι αυτός. Εντάξει, εσύ ήρθα. Εγώ είμαι η Αθηνά. Ωραία. Εγώ είμαι η Κουβάρια. Τι είναι η Κουβάρια. Το ιερό ζώο. Πολύ ωραία. Εσύ τι είσαι. Και το περιστέρα. Για να δούμε τώρα. Εγώ είμαι το ιερό ζώο. Πέστε. Εγώ είμαι το ιερό ζώο.
Εγώ
Είμαι,
είμαι
πες το αρχή.
ιερό ζώο του Δία.
Εγώ είμαι,
Okay.
Γεια σας, κορίτσια. Έχω λοιπόν. Αυτό είναι θα. Θα πάτε μια άλλη. Έτσι, έχω εδώ. Αυτό είναι ένα νου.
Τι κάνω το
Ορίστε, είναι εδώ.
τι είναι.
Αυτό είναι το Δία. Να πας διακόπτα.
Ωραία, ευχαριστώ.
Γεια σου, Μiriam. Έχω εδώ.
Ευχαριστώ. Τι κάνω.
Τι να κάνεις αυτό. Τι είναι αυτό πρώτα, πρέπει να το πεις. Έχω ένα δώρο, ορίστε.
Ευχαριστώ. Τι κάνεις.
Αυτό είναι το βιβλίο.
Τι κάνω. Με το βιβλίο.
Να το διαβάσεις. Μπράβο. Πάμε, γεια σου. Έχω το δώρο.
Ευχαριστώ. Τι είναι αυτό.
Το δώρο είναι μια μπάλα. Με μια μπάλα που κάνει να παίξεις ποδόσφαιρο. Γεια σου. Ορίστε, έχω ένα δώρο.
Ευχαριστώ. Τι είναι αυτό.
Αυτό είναι ένα αυτοκίνητο.
Τι να κάνω με το
Okay, so
αυτοκίνητο.
that's how you start and how you can build on this until they are creative and they can find their answers and their way in the discussion. Okay, is there anything else? Thank you.
Uh,